we demand our freedom and our privacy and our liberty together. Now, we've got a message to Keir Starmer and Darren Jones and the Department of Science and Technology and to everybody else, and to the previous party and to any future parties who might want to say things on social media. But the bottom line is, we are not going to get forced into mandatory digital verification. There is absolutely no way that's happening. This is the hill, everybody. This is the one. We're lucky enough to be the beneficiaries of the freedoms and the rights. We've just had St. George's Day. We're in this amazing square. Many people have given so much, not just people on statues, of course, but ordinary, everyday people, right, across this great 4 nations who fought and died for the right to say things, whether it was translating the Bible, to have free speech, to be able to make our voices heard, to speak to authority and say no. When a policeman asks, what are you doing? We're able to say none of your business, unless there's a suspicion we're going to commit a crime. The point is, our freedoms are paramount and fundamental. Now, we've all seen in the last few days, right, what's happened in France and in Britain, more data breaches with passport information, driving licenses. Get digital ID, they see. It's going to be nice and convenient and really safe and really efficient. Hundreds of millions of data breaches in 2025 across the board. Medical documents, banking. And if the big tech companies can't keep that data safe, you can bet your bottom dollar the technocrats in there who can't sort out potholes or protecting our borders, they certainly are not going to keep our data safe. But even if you think, okay, well, yeah, we know, they might be able to get their act together. They may end up making it safe and protected, possibly in the future. But whoever agreed that we're going to be walking barcodes or QR codes? Whoever agreed that we're going to be constantly having facial recognition, that we're like a lineup of potential criminals? Whoever agreed? Where was it in the manifesto that we were going to have digital ID? One day they suddenly decide that they're going to reintroduce Tony Blair's great idea, the one good idea he thinks he's ever had. Every problem that comes up, let's have ID. Boo. Exactly. We're not having it. But it's really important because obviously some people think, well, what's the point of voting? 50% of people don't vote, right? And many people are fed up and sick and tired, and I understand that. But voting is one part of many things. It's part of protests and rallies and events and organising in our local communities, as you all do so well, out on the streets, pamphleting. All our volunteers and the Together people have put out hundreds of thousands of flyers in the last few months in the run-up to the Scrap Digital ID 4 Nations Rally and beyond. The 7th of May, we want to make sure all potential councillors know this is a big issue in your constituency, and everyone watching at home on the streams, that we make sure that we make that point to them, that we make sure that we tell our MPs it's essential, both for the local election and for the national election, but then that we continue in our local communities, organising with our friends, our neighbours, our colleagues, having these debates. And guys, there's going to be a lot of people who we don't agree with on a lot of different subjects, but on this issue, we can win in Britain. Don't let them think it's inevitable. We're going to scrap digital ID together. Now, we got a great day. We had a word. The sun's come out. We've got a great day with some fantastic speakers and a little bit of entertainment, some PAs and some comedy. Always a risk, comedy, in this day and age. But before that, I want to give a big shout out first as well to all our volunteers and all the team at Together and the people making this work. Up and down the country and day in, day out, the Together team and the Together volunteers and all you guys, you make this possible. So I'm not going to name everyone, but you've seen them earlier. And in a little while, we're going to come and do a stunt at around 3 o'clock. And I want you all to participate. You guys up for that? We're going to have a big banner. We're going to bring it out. It's going to be filmed around about 3 o'clock. So give a warm round of applause to everyone who's a volunteer here, please, everyone. Thank you. You keep it all going. The other people that keep it going are members. Put your hands up if you're a member of Together, please. Hands up, placard. Hooray! Thank you all. You keep this all going. If you're not a member, put your hand in your pocket if you can with a bit of cash, or if you've got the other things. We'd love a donation. We'd love you to become a member, because we don't get big donations because we cause everyone an embarrassing problem. So even people that are out there doing policy find us a little awkward because we keep saying similar things all the time, no matter who's standing. And because this is something that's just, we either have our freedom, like freedom of speech, or privacy, or we don't. It's not just for those that we agree with. Voltaire, and, you know, dying for the right for someone you really hate what they've got to say, that's something that's really fundamental to all of us, right? And we have to remember that in these very heated times. But doesn't mean we can't be civil, but it does mean we have to hear one another, because we believe in everyday people to be able to make up our decisions. Check. Thank you. Someone's got to check. Someone's got to check for me. Right. What's happening? Thank you. There you go, Boris. A round of applause for Boris. Thank you, Boris. I don't know what's going on there with that. Are you like, right? So, before we start with the speakers, we've got a couple of messages. This is just a recap over the last few months about what we've been doing on our Takeback Democracy tour up and down the country together. If you would, marry us, please. Thank you.
To work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Message to Keir Starmer, you need to back down.
Starmer and then people in that conference need to listen, or they will be out on their backside.
Digital ID will work across different government departments and services, bringing those all together in one place in the gov.uk app.
Well done, London. We've also got a message. Before I bring the next speaker on, who everyone will know is Dan Aston Gregory, who was there right at the start of us, and many people follow him and watch him, who's great. We're very lucky to have a special message from someone you'll all know. Go on, give yourselves a wave. What are you saying, London? Scrap digital ID. What do we need to do? How are we going to do that? We're going to do it together? Are we going anywhere, people? I think Keir Starmer's going somewhere, but he might go, but all the rest of them and anyone that comes, it's easy to say things. It's easy to say things on social media. It's important to say things. But let's remember, it's up to us to keep everyone accountable, no matter what anyone says. Because people have got a strange habit of saying one thing and getting into power and doing another, right? Remember, they promised the farmers they'd look after them, right? The Labour Party, Keir Starmer, 180-degree U-turn. I think he was getting in the habit of doing his U-turns before he actually did it. When he get into power, they imposed the inheritance tax. We all fought back together and helped create a new farmers' organisation, Farmers Take Action, and fought back about that, and one that got a U-turn, right? Big up to the farmers, everyone. In Wales, we've got farmers speaking today. We got farmers with us. We got veterans with us today, guys. Big up to the veterans. And it's very lively on social media at the moment. We love it, right? It's free speech for everyone. But it's easy to say things. It's what you do that counts. And we're going to be in Britain, we, the public, flexing our muscles. The British public is ahead of everyone. We want certain things done, and we want our inalienable, I can't say that word, rights. Thank you. We want those. We demand them. We're not asking for them. They're ours. And we're going to fight. And this is the hill. We're going to fight, and we're going to insist we keep them. And let those weak technocrats who are authoritarians hear us. We're not going away. We're going to scrap digital ID together. What are we going to do? Fantastic. Right, we got a very special message from one of our close friends who's in DC. She's been a great supporter. She was very brave. She got kicked off and cancelled off mainstream TV when she raised questions about the procedure. Now everyone's talking about it, right? But at the time, that took huge courage, and she did a whole campaign for kids not having to have it. It is, of course, Bev Turner in DC.
Hello everybody, Bev Turner here from GB News. I'm so sorry that I can't be with you there today. As you know, I'll move heaven and earth to help out together, and Alan and the team. But of course, I'm in Washington, DC at the moment. But I still feel really strongly about the march towards a digital ID that we're seeing from the British government. We're still being told it's about your safety, whose, convenience, whose, because from what I can see, it's walking us into a digital cage, and we've got one opportunity to walk away from that prospect. So we need to make our voices heard. I love Together's idea of a digital bill of rights, meaning you have the option. If you want to live your life like that, feel free. If you don't, you need to be able to have options that you don't always have to digitally verify who you are. It is, for me, the start of the end of freedoms that we have taken for granted for so long. So good luck today. Well done everybody in the room. Well done the team at Together. This fight is far from over.
Well done, Bev. Thank you. We love you. If you look in the corner there, anyone who wants to get a placard or some T-shirts, there's there. So Anika and some of the guys, Rose, everyone's there, Claire. So go and get one if you want one, T-shirts or placards, hold them up high. I'm going to not do huge introductions now because they're all going to say great things and we've got loads of speakers. But Dan Aston Gregory has been making a noise about this sort of stuff. Is it my mum calling now? I'm not sure. Right. He's been making a noise about all these issues for quite some time. And it's great to have him with us. Many of you will follow his podcast, Free Humanity. It is Dan Aston Gregory.
Thank you, Alan. Congratulations on all of you being here. It's so important that we're here today to say no to digital ID. My message today is for those who aren't here today, because I don't know about you, but I find myself becoming very frustrated when I talk to other people and they tell me I've got nothing to hide. Who's heard someone say that? Well, so why then, I always ask, do you close your curtains at night? Why do you lock your door? Why do you put a fence around your garden? Is that because you've got nothing to hide? No, you're not hiding anything. It's because privacy is a fundamental human right. Because what most people do not understand is that digital ID isn't just about access. It's about the combination of access, data, and behavior all tracked in one system. So what we need the ordinary people at home to understand that this is not just about a convenient way to show who you are, which is, of course, how it is always sold and pitched to us. This is something far more insidious. This is about how our day-to-day life is tracked, watched, monitored, so that your purchases, your movement, your health is held in a centrally held database. And as we already know, that comes with great risk far beyond just our own privacy. This is about our fundamental freedoms. So it's really important that we continue to stand here to say no, because the concern isn't just about what happens today with digital IDs. It's what happens next and what happens tomorrow and what follows it. Because after digital IDs, it's the financial layer, the central bank digital currencies. And then it's the next layer, and then it's the next layer. Till all of a sudden we wake up and we do not have any freedoms left that we once had. So for all of you here today, the message is simple. We've got to keep saying no. We've got to educate people. We've got to tell people back at home. We've got to tell the younger generation that we say no and we must defend our fundamental freedoms. This is the hill that we fight to die on. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Say no to digital IDs. Shall I introduce you? Where's Alan gone? Alan's disappeared. I can introduce our next speaker if you like. I've just met her here. I said I'll be on time. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan Aston Gregory, everyone. Brilliant. I was just doing a photo. We've got some brilliant people here already. We've got Adam Brooks in the house. We've got Dr. Claire Craig. We've got, I'm not going to name check everyone. We've got Ada Akpala. We've got Tom, Monty. I nearly did that. I'm going to be in trouble. Montgomery Toms. We've got Ellie Hodges and loads more to come. So now I'm going to quickly go to the next speaker. But what I'm going to ask you to do, not to be obsessed with social media, because some people think because they have thousands or even tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of reposts or shares, that is the same thing as some other things. But we all saw that even when we had people who had hundreds of thousands and some who had millions of followers during lockdown, whilst we had all that, we got silenced and siphoned off. And that's why we organised together, to work with different campaign groups, to have people on the ground, boots on the ground, talking the public out, doing stuff with flyers and boards in the local community, voting, doing protests, calls to action, emailing MPs, letting them know we're going to get them out. We're backing people who want freedom and privacy, constantly pushing back. So social media is important, but being out on the streets, meeting people and having boots on the ground is really important. So I'm going to ask you to hashtag Together Scrap Digital ID at the event, everyone. Right? Do it through the day. Social media is good, it's important, but also face-to-face, out on the streets, everyone together. The next speaker, when I first met her, she seemed very shy. Now, I'm seeing her everywhere on all sorts of TV stations, on podcasts. She does stuff at the New Culture Forum. We love Peter, and it's a moment to reflect and say thank you to Peter Whittle, who's not with us anymore. But it's a new firebrand. It is Ellie Hodges.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Alan. So, is the mic not on? Mic.
Take.
Should we swap? There you go. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, good. You can hear me. Okay, so first thing I'd like to say is just well done for all of you for being here, because as Alan said, it's so important that people actually show their faces and go to events, because I know a lot of people that are always on social media and tweeting, but they don't actually make the effort to come to events and meet like-minded people. So it's so important that you're all here today. But with digital ID, so we're told that it's not a big deal, it's completely fine, and that it should be rolled out, and it won't be mandatory anymore. It's just a choice. But we've heard that all before. And the example I always use is cash. Cash was once a choice too. Now try and go around parts of London, try and go into a cafe, a bar, a restaurant, a club, and a lot of places now will only take card. And the same thing will happen with digital ID. And they wrap it up as it's convenience. It will make life easier. It'll be a faster way to get into somewhere, an easier way to prove who you are. But before long, I think that option will become the only option. And ask yourself what happens when in every single venue you go to, they say no digital ID, no entry. That's not freedom. And then you hear the usual argument that I think someone mentioned earlier as well. If you've got nothing to hide, why do you care? But I think that's the completely wrong question. Why should normal, everyday people be treated like criminals when they've done absolutely nothing wrong, treated like suspects? And we're also told it's about safety, that more surveillance, more checks, more monitoring will stop crime. But look around you. We already live in one of the most surveilled countries in the world. We have CCTV cameras absolutely everywhere. And has crime disappeared? No. And has it even reduced? No. So we're also told that this will stop illegal working. That's an argument they use all the time. I mean, I can hear you all laugh, and that's exactly how I'm feeling. Because let's be honest, if anyone here owns a business, they know that there's so many checks already in place to make sure that you are not employing people illegally. But the blunt truth is that people that will employ people illegally aren't suddenly going to stop because there's a digital ID. They'll always find ways around it because that's just what they always do. So again, who does this actually affect? Ordinary people going about their lives. And the reality is that when these systems are in place, they rarely go away. Once you give government power, they will cling on to that. They very rarely give it back. But this is also about what could become tomorrow. This isn't just about today, because even if you trust this government now, do you? I don't think so. But even if you do trust this government, which I think is a small amount of people, why would you trust the next government? You don't know. So I just think that freedom isn't taken away all at once. It's taken away piece by piece. It's chipped away. And this is one of those moments where we either draw a line or we accept something that we might not be able to undo. And I know that my great-grandparents fought for this country and they fought for our freedom. And if they could see what's happening now, and I know this is about digital ID, but freedom more broadly, we're seeing it's being taken away, and everyone needs to do everything they can to stop that happening. So well done, everyone, for being here today, and thank you for having me.
Ellie Hodges, well done. The next person probably doesn't need much introduction. When I first met him, he was running a couple of pubs, and he didn't like speaking publicly. He said, "I'm not really good at all that, Alan, But he's one of the people's heroes from Essex, now loved around the country. He's got one pub now. These are the consequences of what happened with lockdowns. Those lockdowns, tens of thousands of our venues lost, us shuttered, the children, the impact, and all those emergency traffic orders that came afterwards, all those things about keeping you safe. The next emergency, after that health emergency, the climate emergency. You've got to do this now. Go in the corner, hands on heads, do as you're told. We're not having it. Are we having it? We're not having it. And here's Adam Brooks.
How nerve-wracking. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Thank you, Alan, for organising this and all the Together staff. Look, I joined Together a good few years ago. I became one of the founding members because I believed in what Alan was saying to me. We did not want vaccine passports in this country. We did not want to become a checkpoint or a QR society. So I joined Together and I helped Alan, and I joined this journey because I'm worried about the future of my 3 children. No other reason why I'm here now is but my 3 children. I do not want them living in some sort of social credit system, some sort of system that mirrors China, where, if their dad says something against Keir Starmer, which I do quite a lot, that I'm not allowed to get on the train, or I'm not allowed to get my pension in a few years, or I'm shunned from society. And the only way they can do that, apart from putting me in prison, is to turn me off via a digital ID. It is a control mechanism. This was not in Labour's manifesto. If they put it in their manifesto, they wouldn't have got as many votes as they did. That is the reason why they hid this. Let's remember, I think 6 million plus signed a petition to say no to digital ID. Whether you're from the left, the centre, or the right of politics, I don't care. We're all here to be united against this control mechanism and for the future of our children. Let's also remember about the hacking risk. We've seen in India, nearly a billion people had their data hacked. Do you really trust this government to keep your data secure? Only this week we've heard that about 500,000 of us, I'm not sure if it is any of us, had our medical records found on the dark web in China. Now, this government, they expect us to believe that, our pensions, our benefits, our health, all our travel documents are all safe in some online portal. No, they're not. Can you imagine what these hackers could do with that information? We have to say no. Look, we stand here together. Again, I thank the Together Declaration for having me here. This is not a natural thing for me to stand here. I might look confident on the telly or on the internet. I'm really not. To stand here in front of you people is a big thing for me. But again, the reason I've come here is because I know how dangerous digital ID is. We must say no. We must stop this state control. We must push back against Keir Starmer and this authoritarian government. They have no mandate for this. So again, do we want digital ID? No! Thank you very much.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Thank you, Adam. I love seeing Adam on there. Says it as it is when he's on TV. It's fantastic to see. The next guy I'm going to bring on, are you allowed to say things like guy? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a dangerous one. So you get in trouble for saying that these days, don't you? But the next person who's coming on is someone who's done a great amount for us and had been very brave. He previously served as a police officer for many years, and then he stopped. And he's one of those guys that really understands about the law and about our rights, and he's also got a huge amount of courage and passion. And I'm glad he's on our side because he's held the police to account. And he's done a number of really important initiatives and projects to make sure that we get pushed back. He's won on free speech issues. He'll talk maybe a bit about some of that today. But I remember being up at Northumberland police station outside there with him where he handcuffed himself to the station. He made an enormous issue because Lindsay had been banned from the football stadium because of comments, and he pursued that. You don't want to get on the wrong side of Harry Miller, but he's the old style, the old guard of people who believe you say what you mean and you mean what you say. I'm really pleased he's on our side for free speech. He's been very passionate. He's got lots to say about Hendon Police Training College, protected characteristics and digital ID. Let's welcome Harry Miller from We Are Fair Cop.
Thank you. Now, Alan there, thank you for having me, but he talks about taking the police to the High Court as though it's a thing in the past. Well, I'm here to tell you it is not a thing of the past. Only last week we beat, even before we got to court, the Independent Office of Police, whatever, the IOPC. So they're the people that police the police. And then on Thursday this week, we got permission not only to take the Chief Constable of Lincolnshire to judicial review at the High Court, but get this, to take Shamama Mahmood and the entire Home Office to the High Court, because get this, what they are doing, having got rid of the so-called idiotic, stupid, non-crime hate incidents, where you could be recorded on a police database for something that you'd said or for whistling Bob the Builder at the wrong person. After a 6-year fight, we finally got rid of them, and guess what? They've mutated already into something else. So the police are now recording you for the same things, not for a non-crime, but for a crime. So you've gone from having a non-crime crime record to having a crime record. That's how bad things are. And so we are taking the Home Secretary to the High Court. Now, this brings me on to digital ID. Why would we trust a government and a police force that takes the most benign thing that you say on Twitter or Facebook or to your friends and then prosecute you for it or punish you in some way for it? That is not the British way. That is not what a free society looks like. And I am damned if we are going to move from non-crime hate incidents to digital ID, where the police can snoop even more into our private lives, where they can look behind the curtain as to what we're doing, where they can track who we're seeing, they can track who we're speaking to, they can even track what books we're reading. Oh my goodness, do you remember that copper who went mental because somebody had got a Douglas Murray book on their bookshelf? This is what we're dealing with. So, regardless of what the police say about the intention of digital ID, you do not judge a policy by its intent. You judge it by how it's being used. And I guarantee you the police will use digital ID in exactly the same way that they used non-crime hate incidents. They will use digital ID in exactly the same way that they used hate crime. They will take digital ID, they will realize it's utterly useless for what it was intended for, but they will find a new, more sinister purpose for it. And that's why I'm here to join you with saying no, no, no to digital ID. Thank you.
Check 1, 2.
Thank you, Harry Miller. I'm not into handcuffs, but if you are, that's your man. Next up, we've got someone who I've been admiring for a while, actually, because she's been really articulate on a lot of the really thorny issues that we're facing today. And again, I'm into free speech, but I'm also someone who thinks you should be able to criticise and ridicule. I prefer to do it in a civil fashion, but many of these ideas, and I'm also concerned personally that some people are getting very preoccupied with identity on what people like to call the right and what people call what was the left. Anyway, someone who's written a lot about this is a young woman that's joining us now. It is Ada Akpala from the Equano Project. Please give her a warm round of applause.
Hello. So obviously we're going to hear a lot about why this is bad news. We're going to hear about what the government is up to. But I want to talk about you. I want to talk about us and what mood we should be in. Now, I'm a YouTuber as well, and I shared a petition on another issue. And it was quite interesting, a lot of the responses I was getting. Not surprising, but it was still telling. A lot of people saying, well, what is the point? How many petitions have we signed already? No one is going to listen. No one is going to do anything. And that's absolutely the wrong mood that we should be in. And that's what the so-called global elite want from us. They want us demotivated. They want us to think that nothing that we do ever matters. But I tell you something, it does matter. That's why the first petition, that's why it worked. Don't ever think that your voice does not matter. This is the main theme of my YouTube channel, whatever we are talking about. But today we are talking about digital ID. They say that it is for convenience. They say that it is to make our lives easier. My question back is it easier for us, or is it easier for them to manipulate and control us when they don't like what we say, when they don't like who we associate with? This will affect all of us. It will affect you. It will affect me. It will affect my 1-year-old daughter in the future. I also want to talk about this phone. They want us constantly online to control us. Now, I actually lost my phone yesterday, and it is very inconveniencing, I tell you that. But it will come a day that it goes beyond inconvenience, because everything you are will be tied to this. If you lose it, you technically don't exist on the system. We will not allow that. Now, I want to say one more thing. The reason we don't trust the government is not because we are some random conspiracy theorists. It's because they have a track record of not being trusted. Now, I will talk about it from a personal point of view. The reason I personally don't trust the government is not because they make mistakes. They're made of human beings. They make mistakes. But it's how they gaslight us. It's we have learned our lessons now. We don't want to be guinea pigs for them to learn lessons. We are going to say no to digital ID right now. Join us.
Brilliant, Arda. Thank you very much. I'm so excited about the next generation of young people. I'm also going to give a shout out to a few people. We've got podcasters here. And I'm never sure which. They're all working at different companies. They're great brands. But we've got Simon and Willsey and others. You would have seen him on the internet getting into tear-ups or being arrested for having free speech happening in places. And one of the people he's done that with is a young man who, for all of you that were on those anti-lockdown protests and more, was a young teenager. I saw a photo of him when he was... look, oh yeah, we got the big brother state now cutting us out. Just as I'm about... Hello, yeah, well, I stand here. I seen a photo of him when he was a young lad, just getting into his teenage years, and he's one of the most passionate, enthusiastic, stubborn, courageous young men I've met in a while. I also don't agree with him on some things, and we thrash them out and we disagree, and that's all important, and we've got to learn to do that in a civil way. I really hope that people that share most ideas can do that, because we've got to do that with people where we share no ideas as well, because it's our country. And we need to be able to discuss and debate these things thoroughly, particularly when people think it's okay to not talk anymore because you're evil and we'll have violence. And I think we have to all remember Charlie Kirk and the great contribution he made to free speech, and that we must talk to our fellow citizens that we don't agree with. And even when they go low and they try and smear and accuse, and that we hold the line. That we think that people are capable of change and capable of being convinced, and that our ideas are better, and that we do that with courage, and we don't get into little tribal bits where we start really putting people down. Let's take the high ball. Let's win the right ideas. Let's do it together. Now we're going to have Montgomery Toms.
Cheers, Alan. Thank you. That was a very humbling introduction. I'm not that old, but yeah. Anyway, are we going to say no to digital ID? Right, good. So, how many people are on the anti-lockdown demos? Amazing. So, as we well know, digital ID was pioneered really in the lockdown days, when we had jab mandates, when we had vaccine passports brought in by Nadim Zahawi, lovely man. And we said no. We realised that that is a line that cannot be crossed, because we are British. And we have inherited over 1,000 years through our lineage this idea of freedom, this idea of liberty, this idea of individual judgment, which seems to be dissipating every single day. But I may be on a stage, giving my opinion, but ultimately it's about every single person here purely turning around and saying no to digital ID. Because when the time comes, let's just have a hypothetical for a second. Someone knocks on your door, you open it. It is the Stasi, or shall I say the police? I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying that. And they turn around to you and say, well, we see you're not on our database for having a mandated digital ID or a voluntary digital ID in inverted commas. Well, I expect you to get arrested. I expect you to be in a prison cell. And I expect you to take the consequences, because our ancestors, our forefathers, did much worse than that. They died in trenches, they died in wars, they lost family, they lost loved ones. It is our duty, our responsibility to say no. This needs to be reversed, it needs to be scrapped, and we need our autonomy, our privacy, our freedom. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to say any more. So hand out as many leaflets as you can, speak to as many people as possible, reject it on all fronts, because this is the hill to die on. If we have digital ID, it will be so close to, it will be irreversible almost. I would say we can still reverse it, but we don't want to be in that position. Say no, reject it at all costs.
Thank you, Monty. Now, in about 9 minutes, we're going to do a stunt, and we're going to be live going out to the nation and internationally with the podcasters and also with our friends. I'm going to give them a name check because there are other press here. But I've got to say that during lockdowns, I'm going to move over here. During lockdowns, I was really grateful that we had GB News and Talk TV. Now, whatever anyone thinks about whether they agree with everything and did they get it right and everything or not, the point is there was somewhere else to talk. And now we've got many more places to talk with podcasts and online. But I'm really pleased they're here, and they're always out on the street with the people, unlike this fella. Hey. And we're all going to have some of these, and we're going to say, no, thank you very much, Mr. Keir Starmer and Darren Jones and the Department for Science and Technology and Companies House, who wrote back to us and said, oh, no, it's not a digital ID, this one login. We're not forcing 8 million directors into it, and we're not making everyone go quarterly on make tax digital. We're not doing all that because it's digital ID. It's just for your convenience. It's really not. You've got it all wrong. One of the people that's going to speak later on is Phil Booth. He'll talk a bit more about some of those risks around one login. We've got an exciting thing that he'll be unraveling here as well to us today. But the point is, whether it's one login, whether it's the Children Wellbeing Schools Bill, whether it's Make Tax Digital or facial recognition, we've not agreed to all of this. And the point that we're making is we insist on the right not to have to digitally verify. We insist on the right not to have to digitally verify to participate or exist. We're not going to do that. It's fundamental. Right, the next person I've got coming on, it's great. We've got people from hospitality, we've got farmers, we've got veterans. The next person I've got on is someone who spends a lot of time in nightlife, hospitality. I come from that world. Some people got very scared. Some people fought back and said, we're not going to have those vaccine passports in venues. Some went along with things because they were terrified, right? Here's a guy who, it's very difficult to do this, right, in club world, because some people are really into the whole kind of, they call it the woke thing, or you're not allowed to say things, you must go along with stuff. But when you put your head above the parapet and make your voice heard about something like lockdowns or digital ID, you're taking a risk. Danny Rampling's done it. Other people have done it. Now we've got DJ Stuart Lange. Big round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, Alan. And huge thanks to you guys as well. You are critical in this. One of the issues we face with digital ID is a lot of people just think, oh, it's just, another bit of technology. But people are going to go on about the risks plenty this afternoon, and I've only got 4 minutes. So the main key thing you need to be telling people, in my opinion, is that we know all the data's there, we know that they're collecting it all, but the key is when it's on a phone in your pocket, they can add all sorts of permissions, and all of a sudden it is your key to life. And let's face it, do we trust the government? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what are the solutions? I don't know. Ideally, we have people reaching higher levels of power who are going to have some morals, but that's thin on the ground. The people who are doing their best, but it's down to us with numbers to show that we will not partake in this, and that's going to be the key, if they roll it out, is that we will not join their party. So, I've lost where I am now. So spreading the word is vital. As some of you may know, courage is courageous. And when you see other people speak out, then others will do the same and follow. And then before you know it, we're home and dry. So my message to you is this. If we stand together, the game ends. If we ignore their game, the cage remains empty. So keep standing up, stand your ground, and look after each other. And we're going to win this.
Thank you, Stuart. DJ Lange in the house. Right, we got a stunt. We love these because they work really well. So Rose and the volunteers are out the front here. If you could just make a little space. We've got a 10 by 10 banner that we're hoping will be on the front page of every mainstream newspaper in the morning. Now, whether that is the case or not, we're doing it, and we're going to make sure we keep doing it, because like all these things, you start it and people are like, oh, they're weird, they're mad, what are they talking about? You carry on and a few more people go, hold on, I think they might have a point. And then what you end up having is people go, oh gosh, you know what, we really disagree with that. Now we've done that. 3 million British people said no to digital ID already on a petition. So we've got the majority of the public already vocal on that, right? That's a fantastic thing. we need to keep the pressure up because some people think it's gone away and it absolutely has not. And we need to keep in the trenches about that. So that's why we've got this big banner, and I'm going to ask all of you to do what they do at football. This is a participatory stunt. So we're going to get it, and we're going to lift it up above our heads. Some of you will have these. We've got about 100 of these masks. Mr. Keir Starmer. And we're going to roll it backwards, and at the end, we're going to have it really high and really low, and we're going to have the National Gallery in the background. And this is a reminder to everyone that we're not going anywhere. We're not going to get shut down and censored and kowtowed, even when they try and smear us and make it difficult at work and cancel us, call us names. It's actually only going to make us stronger. And when we're together like this, take more courage. It is contagious. It's the one thing that definitely is contagious, courage. And that when we stand together, we can win. We won on the cash question. More banks kept open. The Bank of England said, we hear you. We're going to keep cash. We won. We got the Department of Transport to stop funding livable streets. We won. We got a U-turn on IHT for the farmers. We've won, and we've lost some. We're going to keep fighting. We're that guy, we're that woman that doesn't stay down. You know that guy that doesn't stay down every time they get a whack and you think, oh no. That's who we are, everyone. Right, let's go back a little bit more. Let the back people, tall people at the back, please, if you're allowed to say that. People of long height. And then stretch it out. Stop there. Stretch it out wide. And let's get some of the masks on. Let's lift the bottom. That's it. Lift the top and the bottom come down. That looks beautiful. Right, everyone. After 3, what are we going to do, everyone? 1, 2, 3. Scrap digital ID. How are we going to do it? Together. Right, in a couple of minutes, we're going to be going absolutely live. The S needs a bit of a pull and a tug on the scrap. There we go. Gosh, look at that. Looks wonderful. You want to get, some of you get in front of it as well. So there's not, I mean, I know the photographers have got to see some stuff, but you can kneel and crouch down. That's it. Get the ones with masks, kneeling down and with placards so we can get a really good shot there. This is looking fantastic, guys. That's it. Let's get the placards now a little bit lower. In fact, go back with the banner a bit, but you people sitting there, stay there. Go back with the banner. Go backwards. More towards the National Gallery. Keep going. People sit where you are. Don't move. Keep going. Keep going. A bit more. Bit more. Bit more. Bit more. That's it. A bit more. Bit more. Right there. Now stretch it out. That's it. That's the shot. Great. And is it 3 o'clock? There we go. That looks so beautiful. I'm gutted I'm not there with you. What are we saying, everyone? We got to do that one more time. What are we saying, everyone? Scrap digital ID. How are we going to do that? Together. One more time. This is going to everyone at Parliament, everyone who wants to be in Parliament, everyone who's standing in local elections. This time and in the next year, we're making this point to everyone. Scrap digital ID. After 3. What do we want to do, everyone? Scrap digital ID. How are we going to do that? We're going to bring this message in our voting on May 7th, up and down the country. Beyond that, we're going to carry on campaigning, calls to action, making sure MPs know about that. The Companies House, Department of Business and Trade, all the Cabinet, all the councillors, all the potential councillors. And we're also saying every party should take up our position. It's open to everybody to have a digital Bill of Rights where we enshrine the right not to digitally verify. I put that out to everyone. We've messaged all the MPs, all the Lords, and we've gone out to councillors. The offer's on the table, but we're going to fight back and we're not going to accept it. What are we going to do, everyone? Scrap digital ID. How are we going to do that? Together. As Penny's got the masks, we need some more masks, but I think we got it. We got the shot. Yeah, great. Great. Well done, everyone. And because we had a little change around, what I'm thinking is smoking a fag. Brilliant. No, that's all right. Well, what I was going to say is that let's do this. Let's get Cardiff, because you've been working really hard, everyone, so we'll give it a couple of minutes, and we're going to get Cardiff to speak to us on the video. We're going to hear from our fellow friends, our fellow nationals across the 4 nations. Very important, the sovereignty of our 4 nations and our own individual personal sovereignty, and that we all stand together and we have common interests with citizens. I know they say we're subjects, but I like the word citizens. But we're citizens together, and that we have a lot in common, and that we're able to win things together. And actually, we're the ones that make history, everyone. The reason we have freedom of speech, the reason why we have universal suffrage is not because smart people decided to give it to us because they were feeling friendly or kind. It's because brave people went out and fought for it. Brave people thought that it wouldn't just be a man with property that could have it, who was over the age of 30, but it would be all men. And then, guess what? Women should have the vote too, and brave women and men went out and fought for that and got that. And on all of these issues that we stand on the shoulders of giants for, people have gone before us and they've faced much more dire consequences. So we have a duty and a responsibility, everyone, to keep the light shining. This is a generational fight. There are always people who think the public are scum. They think you and me should not be listened to. We should be censored and surveilled. Well, we got news for them. We believe we make this country. The carers, the drivers, the farmers, the veterans, the public, us, we the people standing together. And now we're going to hear from our friends in Cardiff, Richie Taylor and the team.
Guys, okay, fantastic. Let's get as many placards as we can, please. Thank you very much. Mark, are we good? No, just give me the thumbs up, mate. Voice of the Valleys. He's an independent journalist. Let him do interviews with as many people as we can as well. Okay. The speakers can go up there for now, Catherine. Is that all right? Behind with the rest of them. The ramble up there, look. There we go. Paul's right there, because can't make the steps. Paul's all right.
Where's my phone?
1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. Well, first of all, before we make a start, just waiting for the cameraman to give me the thumbs up. We've got a special item for you that Rogue's managed to pull off. We've got a wonderful violinist here, Toby. Let's hear it for Toby, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, so he's going to be busking over later, so go and throw him some of your money. Please do that, my own. He's offered to do this, and he's going to start off the event today with probably the best national anthem in the world. Of course, it is the Welsh national anthem. And we wouldn't have it any other way, would we? Mae'n hen wlad fy nadau. So I know some of you struggle with it. You only know glad, glad. I know you struggle with the rest of the words. So do what they do with the rugby and pretend you know it and mime, right? So we're going to start off with that, the Welsh national anthem. Thank you.
I know it, I'm an Englishman.
Ah, well done, well done. Gwlad bairion, cantorion, enwogion, o fri, ai gwrw. Sing it! Tra'r mai, tros baedd dir, heniaeth, barhau. All together now! Gwlad, gwlad, plaid your roedd i'm glad. Tra'r o'r amir i'r biag mai, o baedd yn hir hyn iaith bahau. Glad, yes, well, glad, glad, plaidio dim tar mor andir ir bil habai o by then ir hey bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Toby. Thank you so much.
And yeah.
Welcome, everybody. So today we are here in Cardiff. We also have it in Belfast, London, and Scotland, in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
We are excited to be here with each and every one of us who are standing together to say no to digital ID.
Let's do it again.
No to digital ID. No to digital ID. Right, Rachel Hanover.
That's right. Yeah, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone. And right now we're sending our love and messages to people in Edinburgh and in Belfast and Trafalgar Square. I tell you what, so massive. This turn around, face mark the cameraman there. He's going to come in the white. Lift up your banners nice and high so they can see it in Trafalgar Square down in London. And let's say together, scrap digital ID! Scrap digital ID! Fantastic. Diolch yn fawr. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Well, without any further ado, we've got speakers here that are going to come now and share why they believe that digital ID is a bad thing. My name's Richie, this is Rob. Together we're on a podcast called Unfiltered, and we're here serving together the declaration and helping out today as volunteers, just like many of the people here as well, and the speakers as well. We're here because we're passionate about what the government is doing and what they shouldn't be doing. This is a massive government overreach into our civil and civil liberties and our freedoms as people, where they want to infringe on our privacy, our data, our health records, our employment, track and trace everything about us in one digital login, and it's not acceptable. And that's why we're here today. Anyway, Ro, do you want to introduce the speaker?
You can go.
Thank you to Richie and Rogan, everyone in Cardiff, outside the Senate. Now, it's incredibly difficult to come and perform on a stage. And the next person has got a reputation, was doing it in Birmingham. I was told about her. She's fantastic. She's come all the way down from Grimsby to be with us today. And so I want us to give a warm London, a warm together round of applause, because Sophie Ray has got some news for us that she's going to share vocally with music. Miss Sophie Ray! Here we go. Sophie Ray in the house.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing today? It is so amazing to see so many of you here, and quite overwhelming. But I'm going to sing a song for you today, and it's called Standing in the Way of Control, which is obviously quite fitting for this occasion, and it's by a band called Gossip. So when you're ready, can you press play, please? Your back's against the wall, there's no one home to call. You're forgetting who you are, you can't stop crying. It's part of giving in, and it's part trusting your friends, and you do it all again, and I'm not lying. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've lost where I am now. I'll get it back. Oh, you live your life, survive the only way that you know. Oh, there we go. I'm doing this for you, 'cause it's easier to lose, and it's hard to face the truth when you think you're dying. It's part of giving in, and it's part trusting your friends, and you do it all again, and I'm not lying. Oh, 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 you're standing in the way of control. You live your life, survive the only way that you know. Oh, oh. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see you moving around. I want to see your head banging. Should we start a mosh pit? Standing in the way of control, we live our lives. Because you're standing in the way of control, we will live our lives. Because you're standing in the way of control, we will live our lives, lives, lives. Because you're standing in the way of control, we will live our lives, lives, lives. Whoa! Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Standing in the way of control, you live your life, survive the only way that you know. Oh, oh. Your back's against the wall, there's no one home to call. You're forgetting who you are, you can't stop crying. It's part of giving in, and it's part trusting your friends, and you do it all again, and I'm not lying. Oh, 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 yeah. Standing in the way of control, you live your life, survive the only way that you know. Oh. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I have got one more. I wrote a poem, but I thought it would be quite boring to just stand here and talk a poem at you all. So I'm doing it to a random YouTube backing track that I found. And it's not that. Just one second. Just get the hell off me with your illogically and ethically irrational bullshittery. Get off me addiction, get off me affliction, get off me self-pity, feeling shitty. I'm far too concerned with pretty. Get off me injustice, genocide, hunger and pain. It's not my duty to cry all day for the horrors of society and everything in it that is made. Fuck this game. It is my duty to share love, light and laughter, be a high vibrations master, forever ready to get answer. Yes, I think this is the answer. I'm out of breath. Mr. Stammer, we're fed up with the drama because it's bewildering. But just simply being is believing and it's freeing. So get off me, talking straight to the given condition. I'm a real living sovereign being and no, I'm not your fiction. So, sorry. Get the hell away from me with your digital ID. You've only paved the way for me, a life of non-conformity. You never take away from me, the freedom is my destiny. We will unite and stand together, however heavy gets the pressure, and no matter the weather, cause we're bigger, we're better, we're ready for whatever. Yeah, we're bigger and we're better and we're ready for whatever. So get off me, overstimulation from this cultural damnation, messing with my imagination for privacy violation and interrogation. It's a Goya black creation, bring on the salvation. Freedom will never be yours to take, let's get it damn straight. Thinking you could was a mistake made because your great reset doesn't exist in my reality. Your anti-human agenda would scramble up the frequency, you ever change the fact that nature has a lot of faith in me. So get off me and never get on me again. You're done, you're scum, you fucking want some. I remember who I am, and I am not an artificial product with a barcode you can scan on my mind you won't hijack. My faith is highly stacked, so step the fuck back, cause now's the time to stand up and say, get the fuck away from me with your digital ID. You've only paved the way for me, a life of non-conformity. You never take away from me, the freedom is my destiny. We will unite and stand together, however heavy gets the pressure, and no matter the weather, cause we're bigger, we're better, we're ready for whatever. Yeah, we're bigger and we're better, and we're ready for whatever. Ready? So suck on my digital ID. You must be a little thick if you think we're falling for it. No, we will walk away victoriously. Oh, because we are so gloriously free. Yeah. Oh, we're so gloriously free. Yeah. Oh, we're so gloriously free. Yeah. Are we free? Are we fucking free? Yes, we fucking are! Cut the music out now. Can you cut the track out? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't my best performance. I'm ridiculously nervous, but I'm really sorry about all the swearing, but did it just make you so goddamn angry? Thank you!
Wait a minute, come back. Sophie Ray in the house. Now, how amazing was that? You were brilliant. I spent years in the music business, right, with people. This is a shining star and she's on our side. Make sure you tell everyone about Sophie Ray. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Sophie. That was brilliant. Well done. So, we're coming on to the next bit now, whatever that means. You can say that about anything. But now I'm going to introduce someone that I am always interested in what he's got to say. I'm interested in this publication, what they got to say. I don't always agree with everything they have to say, surprise, surprise, like with many things, but I always find it really intellectually provoking and makes me think about all sorts of things. And also, they've been in the middle of a lot of big fights that a lot of people were scared to do. And I just got to say that whilst we know what those big fights are like around digital ID and around free speech and all of the impositions that have happened, right, in the last few years, there are some people also that we have to give a nod out to, like many of those brave women who said you have to call a woman what a woman is, and they stood and they fought those things, and I'd like to give a shout out to them because they've helped inspire me when I've thought we've got so many things to go up against and people were getting cancelled and attacked. And in the spirit, as I say, of Charlie Kirk and many others. And I think that's the thing about this next speaker. They absolutely hold up the right to people to be able to have free speech no matter what, and no ifs and no buts, which is very difficult because we know a lot of people want free speech when it's for things they agree with, and then they start wanting to stop people saying things they don't agree with. You won't hear that from this editor of Spiked. It is, of course, Tom Slater. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you to all of you for coming here today. Such a great turnout. How do I follow that? I'm not going to sing or rap. Don't worry. But if you want to hear that, you can see me afterwards. You stand here today in a very long and noble tradition of people gathering in squares like this to demand and defend their rights. And that is exactly what is on the line here. It's about our freedom, it's about our rights, It's about our privacy. And that is why our message is absolutely clear. Scrap digital ID. We don't want it tweaked. We don't want it phased in. We don't want it rebranded. You can call it a brick card and put a Union Jack on it for all I care. We just want it gone. Britain, outside of 2 world wars, has never been a papers, please society. People have fought and died for their rights to speak, to vote, and to be left alone. Blood has been spilt, kings have been toppled, all to maintain those fundamental liberties. Our liberties are not to be rationed by the state, to be given out to us for good behaviour. It's something that we have as a right. And, you know, maybe we've taken that for granted a little bit over the years, but we don't have the luxury of taking it for granted anymore. We've got a political class and a prime minister who see freedom as the problem, who see privacy as the problem, who see us as the problem. And that's what all of this is about. We need to make abundantly clear that we're not going to put up with this. And it's so obvious that the arguments in favour of digital ID, they just don't wash. They say it's about cracking down on illegal migration, about stopping illegal labour. Apparently, there's nothing that a dodgy car wash is more scared of than a government-approved app. We're told it's about rejuvenating public services. So at some point in the near future, you'll be told that your operation has been cancelled again, but they've done it so much quicker and more efficiently than they did last time. We know that that's not what this is about. This isn't about controlling migration. It's about controlling us. This isn't about better public services. It's about better surveillance of the public. And you know, then they turn around and say, look, we haven't been able to control the borders. We haven't been able to look after you when you need to be looked after. So therefore, you're going to need to have this unprecedented incursion in your civil liberties. It's a hell of a sales pitch, isn't it? But even if we take that as read, personally, I don't think we should all be slapped with a digital ID just because our politicians are fucking useless. Just finally, I think you learn a lot about digital ID by the people who are pushing it. Tony Blair, what do we think about him? Tony Blair, the politician that just won't flush. Tony Blair, the man who seems to have developed something resembling a fetish for slapping every one of you with a barcode and a number. The politician for whom there is no issue which is not answered by digital ID. Illegal immigration, digital ID. Knackered NHS, digital ID. Potholes, digital ID. He actually said that one. Trouble with the missus, digital ID. He didn't say that one, but he's about this close to saying that if you get a digital ID, you'll be taller, better looking, and a hit with the ladies. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's an authoritarian and a snake oil salesman, and we are not buying what he's selling. But do you know who is buying it? Keir Starmer. What do we think of him? You know, I've got 2 words for Keir Starmer. It's not that one, no. It's actually thank you. Thank you. Because this guy, right, is so hated, is so useless, is so slippery. I think if we play our cards right, he's going to discredit digital ID for a generation. I mean, he launched it. He thought it was popular. It wasn't until he got involved with it. This man has the reverse Midas touch, and we can only hope that will see us through, but we'll work it out. Of course, we can't rely on that. We need to be vigilant. We need more letters to MPs. We need more demonstrations like this. We need to get the word out, and those words are no to Tony Blair, no to Keir Starmer, and no to digital ID. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Tom Slater. We've now got someone who's been around the freedom movement and all the protests, and you will have seen her doing things. But when we were all out after one of the last demos, she sang us a cappella, just doing it. And we've had her at one of our events, but now we're going to put her on the stage because we loved it. And we want you to show some together love, because here is Anika. Here we go. Yes. Come on, Anika. Welcome, Anika, to the Together stage, please, everyone.
Okay, I can only say a few quick words because once this is finished, I've got to literally run to my job. I don't really want to leave, but for the context of this song, I'm not sure I can really match Sophie here, but do we know Parler à tête? It's in Dila, it's in French, but I'm going to be singing in English because I have a habit of rewriting lyrics to reflect what I'm thinking at the time, current issues, what we're angry about, in this case, digital ID, and I'm going to sing Speak Your Mind. It's in relation to now actually 3 friends who have been arrested on free speech and hate crime-based offences, as if that can even possibly be criminalised. I don't know if you want to be shouted out, but they're around. Monty, Willsey, and James Harvey's not here. But I'm going to play this quickly, as I'm in a hurry, if we can. Yeah. There is a part in the Magna Carta stating every man and woman have basic rights to stand and fight. These basic freedoms can't be granted or taken away. They're here to stay. So go on then. The right to travel, work and protest, education, and even bear arms. Just do no harm. So go and speak your mind then, free speech for all mankind, and stop locking up all my friends for speaking hurty words. Why don't you hunt for real crime, the theft and rape and violence? Expect us to stay silent? Oh no, I don't think so. Thought that 1984 was bad, but dude, if you've seen 2025, here are our lives. With every passing day, our sovereignty is stifled more than ever before. So go and speak your mind then, free speech for all mankind, and stop locking up all my friends for speaking hurty words. Why don't you hunt for real crime, the theft and rape and violence? Expect us to stay silent? Oh no, I don't think so. Oh, it saddens me to see the way that things are gone. The liberties they try to take and punish if we don't go along with what they say and issue shitty fines. There's so much to enjoy, and yet we're in decline. Monitoring where we go with cameras on the streets, in shops around you bringing in the cash and currency. In China they already have the digital ID. Oh, but we are fools thinking they won't try it here. Every day there's more and more they're coming in on flights. We're in the cost of living crisis, we can only stay afloat. Mama's trying to feed her kids and keep them safe and warm, but how can she do that if the costs grow more and more? Everything up entire world, this really was insane. The torture of the innocents, the virus of the brain. Poor Father Ted got stopped by feds, no sooner up the plane. Goodbye to all we knew, this is socialist UK. Mind and free speech for all mankind, and stop locking up all my friends for speaking hurty words. Why don't you hunt for real crime, the theft and rape and violence? Expect us to stay silent? Oh no, I don't think so. Oh no, I don't think so. Oh no, I don't think so. Oh no, 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 I don't think so. Thanks, guys. I prefer I predict a riot, but this one's more relevant today.
Brilliant. Let's hear it for Anika, everyone. It takes a load of courage to come on the stage. Well done. Thank you very much. Now, people talk about left and right and all of that, but many of us believe in fundamental freedoms that are for everyone, right? So, you know, the left and the right used to be about how you organise the economy. You might be on the left and think it'd be a little bit more about the state, or on the right, a little bit left. These terms have become really abused now. And I think many of us think that you either believe in some of our fundamental foundational principles, things that Tom was talking about freedom, privacy, liberty, and dignity, and the things that come around that. And a lot of people that say they believe in those things also want to shut people up. But I think that's the dividing line. But some people come from an old left and an old right and centre. And the next person that's coming on likes to say she comes from the old left. But what I love about the next speaker is she said, I've just been on the steps. I was having a gin and tonic. It's a great party atmosphere here. She's a woman of the people that believes very passionately and speaks very brilliantly. Please give a warm welcome to Lisa Mackenzie.
Thank you. So, thank you very much for inviting me together. I've come from Nottingham, so don't hold that against me. I've got a friend here, and he says, you have to do as you are told. So what do you think about that? So, I think we can have some fun today. And I think, you know, the sun's shining, it's London, we're in Trafalgar Square, let's have some fun. But, yeah? So fuck him. Fuck him. But what I want to do is also bring some seriousness to this as well. Because we are living in extremely frightening times. We've got politicians who are weak and mediocre. What they do is they allow each other to come in. They open the door for each other and they keep us out. The mediocre and the weak. We've got a civil service who has been allowed in through the army of HR, who again has allowed the mediocre to come in. We've got a political class and we've got a bureaucratic class that believe that their job is to do some sort of university politics, but practice it on the British people. Now, I'm saying that we've got to stop that. We need better people. We need better politics. We don't need HR politics. Ticking a fucking box and keeping some of us out. If you don't agree with those university politics, then you're out. So what I'm saying about digital ID today is that we're here today to talk about digital ID and also to say to Keir Starmer, to the government, to the civil service and the rest of the weak-backed bastards in this country to say no. But also, there's a wider point here because these undemocratic, authoritarian, corrupt, weak, low-grade, abhorrent group of people that make up the British state, they don't know what to do with us. They don't. They don't know what to do with us. They don't know what to do with free-thinking, critical thinkers. They don't know. So what are they doing? They become authoritarian. What they do is they try and take your rights away. They tell us that we can't say certain words. They tell us that we can't go to specific places without some sort of ID. So what I'm saying today is, we are against digital ID, but also let us be against a weak, mediocre state that is led by probably the weakest, shameless man we've ever had in British politics. Keir Starmer, fuck off.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa says what she means. So now we've got another speaker, and I've been very impressed with this speaker. Again, lots of people have got different political views, but what I'm excited about right now in Britain is that when 5-6 years ago, when these things were going on, it looked like it was the same old, same old. The British public are actually on the march. They're furious, and there's a populist thing happening. And the question is, who informs those ideas? That's why at Together, we want to be able to inform those ideas with our freedom-loving, privacy-insisting, liberty-maintaining positions. And we'll fight and stand with whoever says and shows that they're going to do those things. It's really, really important for us. So our next speaker is someone that's doing a lot of stuff all over the country, but has got her eyes set on this particular city where Sadiq Khan is at the moment, who wants to shut down social media, people saying nasty things about London. I, by the way, love London. I'm like Samuel Johnson, not like Samuel Johnson, obviously, but I'm with Samuel Johnson on the when you're bored or tired of London, you're tired of life. But we've got some issues, haven't we? Like we've got some issues in Britain. I think Britain is a fantastic place. I think London's a fantastic place, but we're mired with issues. And the biggest issues are the technocrats that are running these things with some of those terrible ideas that dominate those groups. So I'm up for seeing that all change. I hope we make a noise now for the next speaker who is part of the disruption. It is Layla Cunningham.
Hello, everyone. When I was, and I'm going to talk about digital ID, but when I was young at school, I was always a bit contrarian, as you can imagine. And one song that always used to resonate with me is Teacher, Leave Them Kids Alone. You guys like it? So I've got a song for us today. Starmer, leave us all alone. Come on, sing it. Starmer, leave us all alone. Now, let's be clear about what they're proposing here, yeah? Now, they're going to dress it up in convenience, safety, modernization. But you know what? Every system starts like this. Every system starts under the guise of safety or convenience. And right now, they're telling you it's optional. But I can tell you that when you need it to travel, when you need it to work, when you need it to access services, it no longer becomes optional, does it? It becomes permission. Permission to move, permission to speak, permission to participate. And listen, once everything passed through one system, centrally controlled by the government, that's when you lose control. And we've seen, by the way, how quickly rules can change. How quickly what you say counts more than what you do. How quickly you're banned from visiting your family. How quickly the state imposes its way of life on you. Now, there's a reason people feel uneasy about digital ID, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And I'm going to go back to another song. Who knows Hotel California? Do you remember that one line? And it would always scare me to death. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. And this is what digital ID is. You will never, ever be able to get out of it, because once they put it into place, once it's a system that is embedded, you're dealing with something much bigger. You are dealing with infrastructure. You are dealing with infrastructure that you cannot vote away, no matter who comes. So the simple question is, do you want a government, a country, where your rights exist dependent on the state? Or do you want a country where your rights are your rights? That's right. And let's be clear. If they really believed it was for the good of the country, why wasn't it in their mandates? Why are we not voting on it? There's no permission for this. And when there's no permission, there's no consent, because it's something this government has forgotten. That power doesn't flow from the government to the people. Power flows from the people to the governments. And it's about time we told them, power back to the people. And I'll just say this. When it's a centralized system, your rights, when you need it to travel, to work, to access the NHS, your rights now will become privileges. That's right, they'll become privileges, conditional, revocable, and dependent on staying within the rules. We saw how quick they are to remove our rights. Imagine when they control it from one system. Because once your rights become dependent on a system, they can be restricted by that very same system. So we got to fight against the system. And listen, we've already seen how our rights have been eroded. Conservative, Labour, it's all the same thing, right? Remember when people are arrested for tweets? Oh, hang on, that's still going on. Getting knocks in the middle of the night, not even being told what? That didn't even happen under a distant regime, did it? It happened right here in England under governments that say they believe in freedom, but they don't. They only believe in controlling your freedom. And so I stand here with all of you, freedom fighters, because that's what we are. Hang on. Not conditional freedom, not permission to be free, but real freedom. The kind that doesn't depend on an app. So let's make sure that we never ever vote for any kind of system that takes our freedoms away. Thank you.
Can I just say, everyone, Layla Cunningham has been on a plane and just come back, and she's jet-lagged and she was losing her voice, and she's an immaculate professional. She's now going to do more campaigning, and whatever political party you support or don't support, she's been a warrior and she's been very vocal, and thank you for being with us today. And it looks like London might have a new mayor. What do we think, London? Our next, we're going to have a couple of videos from Belfast and Scotland in a minute, but just before that, we've got our next speaker. I've been really impressed. You know when you notice someone online originally, right? And some of us have done that with all of us, and we've got all these new fellow travellers. Well, this person's been making a lot of sense to me, certainly. So I'm really pleased to invite Chris Rose onto the stage. Please welcome Chris Rose.
Good afternoon, London, Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast. We now have a situation where the same MPs who told us that the online safety bill would pose no threat to free speech are now telling us that digital ID won't pose a threat to free speech, which inevitably means that it will. Labour ministers and the dreadful Tony Blair Institute are trying to paint digital ID in good light. They said it will be easier for access to services, quicker verification and less paperwork. But we should be cautious when we move power from the individual to these institutions. And despite what our opponents say, it's not about rejecting technology. It's about setting boundaries. We should be asking who controls the system, what safeguards exist, can participation truly remain voluntarily, and crucially, can a dissent still exist without consequences? Because personally, I don't want to live in a society with a centralized digital-only systems that allow the government to track and monitor us and all our individual movements, reducing the anonymity necessary for freedom of expressions. Because imagine if you were to dissent on anything and you're restricted from transport services, banking services, and the internet, where the threat of being blacklisted, penalized, or excluded from society will compel you to either conform or be completely excluded and alienated from society. Because we're often told if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. But this argument misunderstands freedom. Privacy is not about hiding wrongdoing. It's about protecting the space in which free speech expression can exist. And without it, democracy is weakened. When our identity is permanently tied to the government-controlled system, it becomes easier for the government to intimidate us and blacklist us. Because just imagine that you were participating in an anti-illegal migrant protest, and they found out you went there, and you were then blacklisted from using the NHS. I mean, that sounds far-fetched. It may sound like a conspiracy theory, but one thing we've learnt under this dreadful Labour government is that something that's a conspiracy theory today can become reality quite quickly tomorrow. You know, we are more than just a number and a registration, or worse, just a health risk score. The UK has a long tradition of valuing civil liberties, from freedom of expression to participation of innocence. Remember, the British public has repeatedly and successfully fought against identity card schemes. We will continue to fight, and we will win again. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Leslie from Together, one of the co-founders. So what we're going to be doing... Hi. Hello. Nice to see so many faces that I recognise, although you're all looking a bit tanned. That's why. Or looking a bit more healthy than we sometimes do. What we're going to do, we've got a video, I believe, from Baroness Claire Fox talking about good support for Scrap Digital ID. Then we're going to go live, I think, to Edinburgh and then to Belfast. Bear with me.
Hello everyone, I'm really sorry I can't join you for this very important rally and gathering. Listen, I'm very concerned about the fact that at the moment the big name on the block is age gating. And what's driving me mad is that all of the discussion about let's think of the children, child protection, ban social media for under 16s, doesn't think about what it means for over 16s. So digital ID is one big issue, but what we are seeing is that the government, the state, in various ways, want to check up on what we read, what we post as memes, what we say to each other, and they're doing that via think of the children, child protection measures, and age gating. So that's the end of privacy. That means that they can actually genuinely keep tabs on us, because you can't age gate unless you show who you are, proof of age, biometric data, and so on and so forth. So I really think you're fighting the good fight here, drawing attention to the variety of ways that the digital checking on who we are, what we say, what we read, actually an attack on free speech is happening more and more via digital ID mechanisms. And my big bugbear is age gating, and no bans for under 16-year-olds, because it's over 16-year-olds who are going to lose their democratic civil rights.
Oh, right, so I don't want to do that. So you let us know. Okay. Right, hi everybody. Welcome to beautiful Belfast for the Say No to Digital ID. So it's a great day here. We've got loads of people supporting us. We've got some fantastic speakers. So at this point, I want to welcome all the 4 nations. I want to welcome our pals from the Scottish Parliament at Holyrood, the Welsh Senate in Cardiff, and also Trafalgar. So handing over to you, Alan, and the team in Trafalgar. Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Edinburgh for the Together Declaration Four Nations Rally Against Digital ID. Okay, we are meeting today here just outside Scottish Parliament, and there's also people meeting in London, Belfast and Cardiff. And we are meeting here today to say what to digital ID? No! And what do we want to do with digital ID? Scrap it!
It's very nice to see everybody joining us from across the country, all four nations. That was Belfast, we've got Edinburgh, we've got Cardiff, and of course there's you. Woo! You crew. Trafalgar Square, massive. So now we're going to change gear a little bit. I would like to introduce comedian Victor. Are you ready, Victor? He's going to be live and direct. Victor Daniels. I'd like a proper Trafalgar Square welcome to Victor Daniels.
How we doing? Before I get into any comment, there's a quick thing I need to say. I've noticed that there's some people in here that work at the local job centre. Oh. Can you hear me? Let's test the mic. Ladies, repeat after me. 07931. You can hear me. Like I was saying, I'm here for the Scrap the Digital ID. So if you're from the local job centre, I'm not getting paid for this show. And I know you're looking at me right now thinking to yourself, how comes he's walking? This is a miracle. I'm going to be at a job centre on Tuesday in a wheelchair. I want no problems, okay? Should we scrap digital ID? Make some noise. So shout after me, scrap digital ID. And bring back racism. Is that better? A black man showed me how to hold a black stick. This is a weird gig. This scrap digital ID, I don't like it. Because they're saying it is for our protection. We don't need their protection, am I right? We can protect ourselves, am I right? So men, after the show, if you see any women walking home by themselves, follow them. Because we can protect ourselves. I miss racism. I miss it, the banter with the police. You be driving in your car and they'll say stupid questions like, who is this your car? I'm like, you tell me. I'm in an A-Reg Fiat Uno with a blue door and a red roof. Do you think I stole this? When you asked me to come out of the car, did you think I enjoyed climbing out of the boot? I should drug test you, mate. No, I miss racism. Like the other day, I went for a job interview. You wouldn't believe what happened. I got the job. I've got no qualifications. I haven't even had a haircut. And he's like, you're exactly what we're looking for. I can't fly no plane. I'm not even a comedian. I just was walking past and they said they needed a black guy for 10 minutes. And I got the gig. I'm actually just come out of prison. I'm looking for a woman. I'm looking for that baby reindeer love. I went on a date the other day, beautiful Jamaican girl, natural blue hair, blonde eyes. I said to her, what do you want to drink? You know what she wanted? You know what Shaniqua wanted? A triple brandy. Do you know how much a triple brandy cost? That's like £35. I got her a triple Coke. And women have got this trick, right? I've clocked on to you women. A woman will come to your house and leave something of hers in your house to ward off other women. Do you know what Shaniqua left in my house? Her children. We was playing hide and seek looking for their real dad. It was crazy.
And fellas, if you've got a woman and she wants to buy something for the bathroom, you leave her to it. Because women know what to buy for the bathroom. I was in this woman's house having a shower, and I don't know if she knew I was there, but I'm having a shower, right? And her shower gel, it made me feel so beautiful. It made me feel radiant. I was so happy when I went to shut the fridge door, I used my hips. I'm trying to buy this shower gel again. Ladies, help me out. Where do you get? Is it Femme Fresh? I know a couple of lads are like, what the hell's Femme Fresh? It's this vagina shower gel. Oh my gosh. My pH level has never felt so balanced. My menopause is gone. It's gone. I'm anti-drugs. I've stopped smoking weed. It's been, 2, 3, 4 minutes? My drug dealers. No, because weed makes you do weird things. Like the other day I was smoking a spliff watching Trisha. And I know the weed is strong because Trish hasn't been on telly for 15 years. And the weed said, let's rob a post office. I didn't want to rob the post office, but peer pressure. I come from a broken home. My dad left me when I was 35. That too, my brother. I don't know you, but you're happy, and I'm happy with you. Good guy. That's a good guy. Women, give out your number. It doesn't matter. These women, there's Krugers here. Give out your number. Yeah, so I'm robbing the post office, right? I said to Sanjay, look, mate, just give me a score, a couple of Kit Kats and some stamps and I'll be out your hair. Then the next day I had to post a letter, but I had no envelopes. So I went back to the post office, but the post office was closed because somebody robbed the post office yesterday. Then this geezer came up to me and said, you look like the guy that robbed this post office yesterday. I said, sir, that's racist to assume that all us black men look alike. And he said, no, I'm not being racist. What it was, he worked for the BBC on a program called Crime Watch. And to cut a long story short, people, I got paid twice. That's my best joke. So it's not me, it's you. The cost of living's gone up, hasn't it? 300%. I spat out my champagne when I saw that. I went into Tesco's for a Tesco meal deal. Guess how much I had to pay? £26. Yes, for a packet of crisps, a sandwich, and a bottle of Baileys. They said that alcohol doesn't come with the meal. I said, you should have made that clear. She said, why don't you just put the Baileys back? I said, it's too late. I've drunk the whole bottle. I was parched. This is a good gig, man. I'm really enjoying this, man. I know because there's a couple of black people who always look at me like, don't fuck this up. And a couple of white people were like, Susan, just laugh at everything he says, okay? Like I said, I'm not a comedian. So if you're filming, please don't show my baby mum because I owe her money and she's going to be thinking I'm getting paid from this show. I just need to put that out there. So we having a good time? I'm having a great time. And I got a little thing to say. I really supported this because at 5 o'clock this morning, my wife gave birth to a baby boy. I'm serious. She gave birth to a baby boy. Thank you. I'm lying. I just said that because I felt like I was losing you. I wanted to reconnect with my people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Is that okay? Oh, okay. Good going. Whoa. That's my baby mum just messing up my gig. It's Big Brother controlling me. I like this. Are you my son? Because you'd be proud to be my son. I like this guy. I'm taking him you're coming to all my gigs. You are a good man. On the way here, a woman saw me on the train and she got scared and she hid her purse from me. I was upset. Tears came from my eyes. I was crying. I was like, stereotypes in 2026. This is ridiculous. But then another part of me was like, I've still got it. It's good to know that you can still intimidate people because the Muslims, they've been having all the fun. And you know what really pissed me off? When I stole her purse, there was nothing even in it. And if you're going to rob a woman of her purse, be careful, fellas. Because there's a woman out there right now, 7 foot, hairy back, strong as hell. It took me a whole hour to get that purse off her. I was taking cigarette breaks and everything. She was so strong that normally when you're robbing a woman of her purse, the other passengers would help the woman. But due to this lady's strength, they were helping me. This is such fun. For my first gig, I'm really enjoying this. I'm telling you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been emotional. I'm not going to lie, I've really enjoyed it. Has anybody got any children? I got 3 girls myself, 14, 15, and 47. And I got a 15-year-old son who I've just found out today. No mother, just him. Amazon. Now I got 3 kids. My kids are naughty. My daughter came up to me the other day and said, Dad, I need help with my history homework. I said, okay, as a young father, this is my time to part knowledge. She said, Dad, in the Second World War, how did you feel? I was like, how old do you think I am? This one's a little bit naughty, but it did happen. My daughter came up to me and said, Dad, there's a child at school that's got 2 mums. How was she conceived? I said, that's a tough question. I'm going to find out for you. That night, I watched 6 hours of lesbian porn. I'm still researching. I'm on midgets of the Amazon. I'm going to find my baby the truth. And then the following week, she came up to me again and said, Dad, there's another child in school. He's got 2 fathers. How was he conceived? I looked my daughter in the eye and said, you need to drink some water and mind your fucking business about you asking me them tough questions. How am I meant to find the answer out to that? It's been a long 10 minutes, but I've really enjoyed myself. I'm going to give out my phone number one more time for the ladies. 07931 325 757. You can follow me on Instagram, Comic Vic. And again, why are we here? This is so cool. When I saw so many white people, I thought this was an auction. And someone was going to start buying me. That's what I first thought, but this is great. My name's been Victor Daniels. Been thank you. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Victor Daniels, thank you very much. It's really hot out here. Well done, everyone. It's good. You're going to see that on all the people who don't like things that are not politically correct up on their post, championing our cause. We love all that. So, just remind myself, because so much is going on. We've got so many good speakers. And it was great, wasn't it, to see people in Belfast and in Edinburgh and have all you guys here. So the next person that's speaking very graciously came out and supported the farmers with us and stood. And we all managed to get a U-turn that had a significant impact, right, on the IHT. It didn't do our demand, which is dispense with it for everyone, but it did significantly transform many farmers' family farms' position. And our family farms, like energy, we need to retain our security. And security is a big issue because the next speaker knows all about security and putting yourself on the line, your life on the line, and fighting for our security. In the same way we're all fighting here for our liberty and freedom, but our veterans who fight abroad, they've got something to say about digital ID as well. Please welcome to the stage, Matt Hellier.
Afternoon, London. Afternoon, the United Kingdom. Now, I'm so happy to be the best dressed man in Trafalgar Square at the moment. Slightly hot, but I outdo all of you. Why am I here? All right, I am a military veteran of 25 years service. Right, I served in the Parachute Regiment and the Special Air Service. I served all over the world, in every single country, every single war zone since the 1980s. Why was I doing that? We was fighting for democracy. We was fighting for freedom. Okay, we ain't the far right. We fight for your freedom. We fight for your democracy. But we also fought for the people whose country we was in. Part of my mission was to set up a university, a medical school for females in Afghanistan. That is one of our mission. That is to give our allies, our friends in countries such as these wonderful people over here who are persecuted in Iran, and now they are fighting for their freedom at the moment, you know? But why am I here? Why is a soldier in front of you talking about this? All right? Starmer and his cronies, this cabinet, this government, okay, has enforced digital ID on their veterans. The veterans don't need digital ID. They have an ID card. You have a passport. You have a driving license. Right? This failed miserably. Veterans like me are used as scapegoats around the world, although we should be championed. We are part of your community and we uphold your beliefs, irrespective of what it is. That's what we do. We are supporting our communities, not just in the UK, but all over the world. We want freedom. We want democracy. He enforced that upon our veterans. 1.8 million veterans in this country. 15,000 took up the digital ID card. What does that tell you? Right, we ain't scapegoats. The guys and girls that signed up for it, a very small percentage, were the guys and girls that had just got out of the military and didn't really know what we all know. We don't want digital ID cards, okay? Digital ID cards is going to restrict you. It's going to restrict what you say, who you say it to, what you do, what you buy. And eventually, it's going to control you. And you are going to end up in a failed state. We cannot have digital ID in this country. We have democracy. We are the cornerstone of democracy in the world. And we must be proud of that. You need your freedom. I fought for your freedom, and I will fight for your freedom again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Matt. It's a privilege and an honour to be on the stage with you, mate. Thank you very much. Matt Hellier, everyone. The next person we've got on the stage is going to do a couple of tracks for you. It is Jeff Khan. Give him a big Trafalgar Square together round of applause, please, everyone.
Drops his feet. Now do you agree? I never wanted to write this. There's only so much you can see. When the innocent get hurt now, fall like leaves off a tree. Can't you see? so plain to see insanity. Imagine you can do some thinking for yourself. Leave everything behind. Takes time, but still, I never wanted to write this. There's only so much you can see. Where the innocent get hurt now, fall like leaves off a tree. Can't you see this ideology just leads to insanity? So plain to see, so plain to see insanity. I never wanted to write this. There's only so much you can say. Where the innocent get hurt now, fall like leaves off a tree. Can't you see this ideology leads to insanity? Plain to see, plain to see, plain to see it's insanity. Insanity. The whole global nonsense, just in that song. So it's time for us all to rise again. Get some common sense back. Just when you thought I was down and out, I rise again. I rise again. Just when you thought I was down and I was out, I rise again. I rise again. Roller, stater, a real motivator out in the fields. Those little green-eyed instigators can find their way home. Just when you thought I was down and out, I rise again, rise again. When you thought I was down and I was out, rise again, rise again. Reaching out only to be ignored. It tells its own story. We may get mad, but you can't get even as you look around. Just when you thought I was down and out, rise again, I rise again. When you thought I was down and I was out, I rise again, I rise again. rise again, I rise again, yeah. I thought I was down and out, I rise again, I rise again, yeah. Rise again, London town, rise again. Thank you very much. I've been jeffkahn.com. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Right, guys, do you want to come in a little bit? We've got a few more speakers, but we're going to do a very important thing in a second, which is going to be a pledge. I don't want to give it all away, but it's going to be really important. I know it's hot, and we love you, and thank you for being here. It's not going on for too much longer, but this next bit's going to be really important. After the next speaker, we're going to be doing a pledge that we're going to do with someone who many years ago, over the last couple of decades, has been fighting against ID and ID cards, and they did the No to ID campaign, and it's great that they're here with us today, and we're going to be launching this joint initiative around the country. The next speaker is someone that's overseas internationally an organisation that is also passionate about getting out on the streets, being involved, winning hearts and minds, and we're glad that they're here with us today. It is Caroline Farrow from Citizen Go. Caroline, please join us.
Hi everyone, it's an absolute honour and a privilege to be here. Now, if you don't know who Citizen Go is, let me tell you, we are the progressives' worst nightmare. You don't want your children being taught by some non-binary raccoon on the BBC. You don't want your daughter to be taught how to bind her breasts. We will be there. We will be running a campaign on it. If it's faith, if it's family, if it's freedom, that's our bag. Please come and check us out. Now, so why are we here today? Well, as you know, Keir Starmer announced a national digital ID in September last year that is apparently going to be the gateway to work, benefits and public services. We were told it was about immigration, convenience, efficiency. Do you believe Keir Starmer? No! Because digital ID is not just another app on your phone. It is not just another login. It is not just another modern way to prove who you are. It's the architecture of control. And if you don't believe me, think about it. Right now, your bank knows your finances. Your GP knows your health. Your employer knows your work record. And your local council knows your address. Separate systems, separate databases, separate keys. A national digital ID puts one lock on the whole thing. And whoever controls that lock controls your life. They can know where you work, where you travel, what services you use, what you buy, whether you attended a protest, whether you were here today, whether you visited a church, whether you bought a book they don't like. And let me tell you why this matters. So for me, this isn't theoretical, because I was arrested in front of my children for somebody else's meme on social media. Just think about it, right? Look at me. Do I look like a terrorist? I'm a middle-aged mum of 5 kids. I'm married to a priest. And all of a sudden, the police come knocking on my door and drag me off to jail for 8 to 10 hours. They confiscate all my equipment. They take my kids' switches and iPads, and because somebody had posted a meme on the internet that somebody else found offensive. And so this is what happens when the state begins treating online speech as a policing matter. This is what happens when jokes, opinions, arguments, and political disagreement are treated as risks to be managed. Now imagine that mentality, the mentality that would arrest a mum for someone else's meme with a national digital ID. Imagine every social media account tied to your legal identity. Every post linked to your child benefit, your work, your bank account, your travel, your children's records, your access to public services. You wouldn't even need to be convicted of anything. You wouldn't even need to be charged. You could just simply be flagged. And it doesn't just stop at adults either. Sorry, I'm not used to speaking to a big... Citizen Go, right now, we have also raised the alarm about plans to link children's NHS numbers to a single unique identifier, a lifelong tracking number from birth, tied to health records, school records, and potentially much more. Children can't vote, they can't protest, they can't consent, and they cannot say no. So we must say no for them. Personal autonomy, the basic human right to live your life without the state watching every step, depends on the state not having the tools to watch every step. Because once those tools admit, autonomy is no longer a right. It becomes a permission. And freedom does not justify itself to the state. The state justifies itself to us. So do not let this be smuggled through in the language of convenience. We have made them back down once. We can do it again. Britain has never been a nation of papers and permissions, and we are not starting now. Thank you.
Well done, Caroline. Thank you. Next up is what I said. This is going to be really important. We're doing a national initiative, which is a pledge. We've got Phil Booth, who for many years fought against ID cards, and the hundreds of millions that were spent by the Tony Blair Institute, and when they were pushed down, that partly came about because so many people campaigned so hard then. He's now in the fight with us all the campaign groups we've got. We've also got Defend Digital Me with Jen speaking in a while. We're working with all sorts of people up and down the country, individuals, people of faith, people who are secular. One of the things that struck me when I was speaking in Edinburgh last year with a hate crime act, where you could now be arrested for saying things in your home, that we had people that were unionists and nationalists, we had people that were of religious and people of secular, of no faith, and people from the left and the right and the centre, everyone arguing to make sure that we actually had free speech. And in the same way, this battle now with all the different campaign groups and everyone is really important. So let's give a warm round of applause for Phil Booth. He's going to come on, and then in a minute we're going to do something really exciting. So Phil Booth, No to ID.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks to everyone who's organised this today, and thank you to everyone who showed up in this wonderfully sunny, hot day. I will speak a little bit about digital ID. As Alan said, we've been working on this stuff for many years, and we know what's going on inside the system. This is a system, not just a digital ID. Most of the parts of the system have already been built. There is already a thing called GovUK One Login, which millions of company directors are required to get to be biometrically verified in order to file their legally required filings to Companies House. And yet ministers are saying this won't be compulsory. It already is for millions. Behind that one login, you get a shadow account, a government account that many people don't even know they've got. And then we've got things like the Home Office, right to work, right to rent checks, which already millions of lawful UK residents are having to do, and which they want to extend to every British citizen. That's when you literally get a job, to pay taxes, to put food on your kid's table, They want to say yes or computer says no. Same with putting a roof over your kids' heads. And beyond that, of course, they're preparing people with apps on your phone, the Gov UK app, the Gov UK wallet. Government code on your phone. They're going to encourage you to get a digital version of your passport, a digital version of your driving license, put it in the app because, oh, it's all so convenient. But that's prepping you for the digital ID, and behind the digital ID, the ID number, the lifelong ID number that they want to stamp on you for life. And they want to get you to apply for this, for your newborn child, for your kids, to access, support, the services, the benefits that our taxes pay for. They want to be able to track every time you prove something about yourself, getting a new bank account, a new social media account. Yeah? This is a whole system, and we must stop it. We did so back in the 2000s, and we did it by very simple means, like you all here. We got together and we said no to ID. We can do that again. Alan, if you want to come up on stage. Back in 2007, we launched something called the No to ID Pledge. This is a personal and public commitment that you're going to refuse to comply with the government's digital ID scheme. What that means is you're going to promise that you will not put government code on your phone. It's a personal promise. We ask you to do it with a friend. Alan, I've known each other almost 30 more years now, yeah? But on and off. But yeah, so you just get together with someone you know, you put your name on, you sign it, you date it, and when you sign the bottom line, you've made that promise, and then tell everyone about it. Tell everyone what you believe, what you're going to stand up for, and together we will stop this. Last time, way back when, 2007, 2010, whatever, more than a million people downloaded this pledge. I reckon we can beat that by tenfold this time. Yeah? Okay? And it starts here.
Brilliant, brilliant, Phil. And back in the day, I used to have a place called the Vibe Bar on Brick Lane, and we helped transform part of that area, and Phil was very active back then. And you know when they say you get older and you give up and you become much more whatever, and that's not the case, right? We're inspired. It's great to see this. No, you know what I mean? You're not making money from this. You're not getting great career potential from doing this. But these things matter. So well done, Phil. It's fantastic to do this pledge. It's a great idea of yours. I'm really honoured to be doing it. We got Keith and Vanessa, some of our volunteers. Give them a big together welcome. They've got the pledge. Yes, Keith and Vanessa. Honestly, our volunteers out in the sun doing this all the time. Really fantastic.
Okay, so let me explain how it works, okay? I'll give Alan the pen and he'll fill it in as we're going. So, this is the No to ID and Together pledge.
So I, Alan Miller, make the following pledge on the 25th of, it is May, isn't it? April. Yeah. There's a lot going on the 25th of April 2026, as witnessed by
Phil Booth. Right, and I'm going to sign it too. Put my name down. I'm going to sign it too. And then we read the pledge together. I solemnly and publicly promise that I will not install government code on my phone. I promise by my advice and example to encourage others not the same. And then you sign it. And we made the pledge. This is a pledge that everyone can make. You can make it with a member of your family, with a friend, with a neighbour, with a work colleague, because this is all about people doing stuff together. You've got the name, We're going to do it now. And I've got some of these little ones. I'll come into the crowd after and give some.
Fantastic. So let's start that today, and we're going to get it up and down the country. This is really important. We're going to make sure in every town, every local area, regionally and nationally, people do the pledge. It's fantastic that No to ID, Phil and his guys and the Together team are going to do this. I'm really excited by it. This is what it's all about. Enough of us saying no and saying yes to our freedom, our privacy and our liberty. Let's get the pledge out across Britain. Let's make sure the technocrats hear it. We're going to say, scrap digital ID, support the pledge. We're never going to do this. We're going to stand together, everyone. What we're going to do? How are we going to do it? Fantastic. Thank you, Phil. Great stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Keith and Vanessa, and for all your hard work. Brilliant stuff. And next up, people might know about Defend Digital Me, a very important campaigning group and an initiative. We've got the person that runs that, Jen Person. Please give her a warm round of applause. Jen. I'm not sure how this works because someone will stand in the shade. Shall I swap it around? There you go.
So, the government consultation on national ID says they want to hear our voice. So let's let Westminster hear our voice. Do you want digital ID? No. They can't hear you. Do you want digital ID? I'm glad you're paying attention, because if you are, you'll know that this plan is not the only place they're planning to put ID into our lives or into the law. The Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill is about to pass this week in Parliament. It will mandate the use of another single unique identifier, an ID for children in education. And what that ID actually is, the law doesn't say. It's a placeholder. It's a way to require a national identifier for every child to be copied and shared across public services, a number that follows them throughout their lives. But children grow up. So what you build for children, you build about your adults and for life. Parliament is signing a blank cheque this week in the schools bill to add an ID into databases that they already hold for children in England and Wales. And all the details about that are to be decided in the future. But haven't we been here before? In 2002, a then Labour Education Minister promised that adding pupils' names to the National Pupil Database, that's the named digital copy of all of your school records from the last 25 years, every assessment, every personal detail, it was only for internal purposes and for research. Well, how long did that promise last? 10 years later, the next government decided that identifying pupil data could be joined up inside the department and could now be given outside the department to businesses, amongst others. Fast forward to the next government, and they decided to start using that named data with other government departments. It's already linked. They joined it up with Home Office records. And then it was police access. And then in 2018, they started linking children's school records to DWP records to identify and find parents through their children's records, saying they could use it to find benefit fraud. But there's no proof it does. No oversight, no transparency. They just did it and didn't tell Parliament or the public, because once they had it, they could. And no one stood up to say no. Scope creep of national IDs is not a conspiracy theory. Scope creep of national ID is not a possibility. Scope creep has already happened. And for the new national ID in the schools bill, they are already planning deliberate scope creep by keeping it vague with undefined potential uses. So if we go ahead with a digital ID in this country, won't it be a convenient place to store it? If the law was already passed this week to say a unique ID must be on every child's record? But even if you believe the intentions of the current government are good, they cannot control how that placeholder and that bit of law is used in future. It's time to say no now. For we, the people, to say we have the right to protect our private and family life from the state. We have a right to privacy. Because what's next? After they get the law passed to make more uses mandatory of a national ID in the schools bill, the DfE is already planning to build a data spine for even more education data linkage, even more pathways to reach into every part of family life without your say. So when the government says, trust us, ask them, trust who? You, the next government, the one after that? Because once a persistent ID exists, every future government inherits it. And every future use is only one policy decision away. From what we have seen already in the past, we know how this pans out in future. And for our children, we must defend them now to defend them from that for the rest of their life. At Defend Digital Me, we are not anti-data. We are anti-database state. Not building databases for profit using our children, not with our lives. So it's better late than never to write to your MP and tell them, and tell your councillors in the coming elections, you want control over your schools' records, you want control over your children's records, and you want an opt-in choice. And to national IDs, we will stand up and say no. No to a single unique identifier in the schools bill, and no to digital ID.
Thank you very much, Jen. You know what I love about the freedom movement as well, is the strong, powerful, independent women that we've got, right? I was so inspired during lockdowns and everything. I was like, how comes it is that there's so many brilliant, often beautiful, you're not allowed to say that anymore as well, but brilliant women who are leading this stuff on freedom. It is absolutely inspiring and it's brilliant. And that's not a politically correct point, that's just a statement of fact. And I love it, because when we got to protect our kids as well as ourselves, and when there's our vulnerable older people, that's what we want. Isn't it, everyone? We're still here, London! Well done! You're the proper people who have come right the way through in the sun, the summer. We're almost here. It's not a catastrophe, an environmental catastrophe, it's just called nice weather. There you go. How about that? Our next speaker is someone that I've been watching quite a bit online, and we've come to know each other a little bit. He's got experience in the world of tech and technology. So as he was explaining to me, these issues that have arisen, he became very concerned about. He was one of those people that perhaps didn't think some of these things he thinks now. He'll tell you maybe a bit about that. But he's someone who's become a political commentator across the board. And we're very pleased he can be here today, is Lee Harris.
Hello, everyone. Right. I was delighted that Alan asked me to come and talk today, because probably like most of you lot out there, I am completely against the idea of any form of digital ID. This out-of-control, authoritarian Labour government is ramming through, I think.
We're going to hold it. Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to make... I know.
That's all right.
Sorry.
You didn't do this to anyone else, Alan. Absolute stitch-up. But look, I'm really pleased I came to speak today, because it is important to me that we all come together and we make sure that we stop this happening. Because this out-of-control authoritarian Labour government is ramming through what I think is probably one of the most dangerous power grabs in modern British history. And what did Keir Starmer do? First thing he came out and said was this was going to stop illegal working, and somehow implying that this was going to stop the boats. I mean, that lie fell apart in seconds. I mean, think about it. Is an illegal worker or an employer that's already employing illegal workers really going to all of a sudden ask to see their digital ID? Of course they're not. It's ludicrous. Hold on. So, he flipped the script, because no one was buying it. He flipped the script and said it would make our lives easier to access your bank account, easier to access benefits, easier to live your life. But absolutely nobody was buying it. 3 million of us signed a petition. And there was a huge public backlash. So what he did, after failing to convince anyone, he announced it was going to be no longer mandatory. And this is where I kind of lost it a bit, because I'm a company director. There are 8 million of us in the UK. And I've been running a successful business for well over a decade. And all of a sudden I'm being asked, or forced, I should say, to sign up to the gov.uk one login. And why should I have to do that? They already have my details. They already know who I am. They already have my passport. I've been running a business for, as I said, over a decade. It's mission creep. They're looking for total control. So after there was this massive public backlash, Keir Starmer said that it was no longer going to be mandatory. Now, let me be absolutely clear. That is a total lie. First, they'll say it's going to be mandatory because it will make your life easier. And then they'll say it's going to be, not mandatory unless you want to run a business like me. And then you know what's coming. They're going to say, oh, no, it's not going to be mandatory unless you want to use the NHS. And Labour MP Darren Jones, this one really struck me. He actually said the quiet bit out loud. He said that he was going to use digital ID as a weapon to combat populism. Just think about that for a moment. They're going to use this as a weapon to keep us in line. That's where I see this going. And it's not just our civil liberties that are at stake. It's the security aspect as well. I run a tech business. I work with databases. I know the golden rules. And some of the golden rules are you don't centralize all the data at one point. You don't have a single point of failure. And that's exactly what we're doing. We put a massive target on our backs. And just recently we had Danny Kruger from Reform. He wrote a letter to the government about, I think it's one of the AI companies that have held back a recent release of their AI update. And this is a lot of things that people aren't thinking about. With AI, an AI can hack into things far, far quicker and more efficient than a human being can. And they've got to the stage now with AI where it can take down entire networks in seconds. And that's happening at the same time the government wants to centralize all our data. And it wasn't that long ago, we had ITV had an interview with a whistleblower from the government, a very senior civil servant who put his career at risk to talk to the press about the current vulnerabilities that are already in the system. And there are thousands of them. And their government are lying to us. They're telling us that these don't exist. They're saying these vulnerabilities aren't there, but the journalists had evidence already from the whistleblowers that this was already happening. A lot of the people that are putting this software system together aren't even security cleared. The whole thing is an accident waiting to happen. Not an accident, it is a catastrophe waiting to happen. And this is why it's so important that we're all here today. It really is. And it's people like you that can keep this at the top of the agenda. We've got the May the 7th elections coming up. Now, we need to make sure that we tell our local MP or we tell the people that we need to campaign this, keep this at the top of the agenda for the local elections, especially these local elections. They're going to be quite consequential once we get rid of Slippery Starmer. Hopefully. Now, what we need to do is we need a digital Bill of Rights. This is what we need to do. We need to make sure that digital ID never, ever becomes mandatory. We have to fight back. I'm not going to comply. I have until, I think, July this year to submit myself to this one login, or I may well be prosecuted. I may well lose my livelihood. That's what made me angry when I heard that I heard Darren, what's his face, from Labour say it was no longer going to be mandatory. Well, it is mandatory for me already. It's already happening. So this is why I was delighted that Alan asked me to speak, and he's done a fantastic job at keeping this at the top of the agenda. So I want, honestly, everyone, just put your hands together. Big clap for Alan. Because what he's doing is so important, and we all of us need to chip in. But anyway, as a director, I noticed no one really mentioned this today. I think I might have been the only director that, amongst us that have been brought in, but that I just wanted to ram home the point that this is already here. This isn't something that's coming, and it's a catastrophic disaster in the making. And I don't want to live in a social credit system, Chinese style, whatever. It's just ludicrous. This is Great Britain. We do not submit to having our lives micromanaged by the state. So I think we need to send this government a message. We need a digital Bill of Rights. Speak to your MP. Get as loud as possible about this. Otherwise, people like me are going to lose our livelihoods, and the rest of us are going to be controlled by the state. So let's scrap digital ID for good.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. Brilliant. Lee Harris. Yes, one login, 8 million directors, along with our children and veterans and all of us. Because they make the directors do it, then it's going to be all their employees, and that's going to be that. And we're not going to do it. This is The Hill, everyone. Someone else who is no stranger to controversy is a doctor that's going to come on now. She's been very vocal right throughout lockdowns. She's also, we did the Perseus report. We didn't do it. We supported them as a collaboration at heart with the Perseus report, saying why is it when armaments and food is so tightly regulated in Britain, procedures or a jab are not. And we went to the MHRA and UK HSA. We went to Downing Street and to Parliament with it. I was proud to do that with the next speaker, who's consistently been out there, having all sorts of names called at her. Some who love her and call her great names, others who smear her and want to shut down the conversation. Remember, all these people that say they're on the side of safety and convenience are the same ones that were saying, be quiet, we're going to censor you, we're going to have a rapid response unit and a counter disinformation unit. That was under the Conservatives, by the way, if we remember. And Boris Johnson, who said, I'd eat my ID card if you ever gave me one, and then wanted to introduce vaccine passports. Be careful of what they say. Judge them by what they do. Everybody can quote the classics and Cicero, but when you're actually in the middle of power, it's what you do then. And our job is to hold everyone accountable. The next speaker's got a new book that's just come out called Spiked. It is, of course, Dr. Claire Craig.
Thank you, Alan, and thank you together. And hello, London. Digital ID is not about technology. It is about power. For 6 years, I've seen something I cannot ignore. I've seen medicine step away from its own ethics. I have seen evidence set aside, and I've seen a power shift away from the individual. Digital ID is a power grab. And the risk does not just lie with the people who are building it. It lies with anyone in the future, domestic or foreign, who want to exploit it. We're told it is inevitable, like the steam train, like the jet engine, like the World Wide Web. But digital ID is not like any of those things. For a start, it is not a British invention. It will not improve lives. It is not inevitable. It's being driven by those in power, and we have been here before. Tony Blair formed a national identity system with biometric databases and compulsory enrollment. In 2012, it was considered so dangerous it had to be destroyed. It was not inevitable then, It is not inevitable now. Now, those in power told us a story. They told us that vaccine passports were a response to an emergency, and that is not true. There was a plan. In 2018, the European Commission proposed a common vaccination card. In 2019, they made it into a digital cross-border proposal. In late 2020, before a single COVID vaccine had been authorized, the WHO was building a smart vaccination certificate. The infrastructure came first. By 2021, the WHO had written far more about this identity system than they had about COVID. And when you look at the language they used in those documents, it's quite telling. In their language, you are not a person. You are a subject of care, not an individual or a citizen, a subject. I don't know about you, but I do not want to be subjected to their care. Subjects shows a... The word subject shows a shift in power away from individuals and towards systems which classify, track, and control. And when one group decides the conditions under which others must live, that is playing God. Digital ID is an attack. It's an attack on three things. It's an attack on the way, our ethics, the path you choose when there's a fork in the road. In medicine, that means informed consent and the principle that your body belongs to you. We've already seen it weakened. Not you must, but you cannot unless. Digital ID could make that permanent, and in that environment, our own bodies could be controlled. It is an attack on the truth, on what we say, the words we speak when something is wrong. When identity is tied to your finances, censorship is no longer needed. The system does the work. People begin to check every word, every action, every transaction. Digital ID becomes the thought police, silence shaped by consequences. And in that environment, inconvenient truth goes unheard. It is an attack on life, on how we live, the ordinary freedoms that make a life a life. A system that could determine whether you can work or travel or even meet. A system that could make those things conditional and revocable. Digital ID means freedom, which is inherent, is treated as something that can be granted and can be withdrawn. And in that environment, life is narrowed, constrained, and diminished. Digital ID would mean these things are no longer fully yours, your body, your voice, your life. This is not new. This country has faced this before. In 1898, compulsory vaccination laws were resisted and the people won. In 1952, paper identities were abandoned and the people won again. Now we win a third time. It is not inevitable. It is not British, so we refused. We are a people with a history that says that there is a law above the law of nations, and dignity government did not give and cannot take. So this is where we stand, together. We refuse to surrender our ethics, we refuse to silence the truth, we refuse to give up our freedoms. And I know there are people here of all faiths and none, and these words will mean something different to each of you. But whatever these words say to your heart, we stand for the way, we stand for the truth, we stand for the life. We stand for the way, the truth, and the life, and against digital ID. Thank you.
Brilliant, Dr. Claire Craig. Very powerful words. And I remember all the adults used to tell me, you'll be sorry. And it's like one of those moments, isn't it, where you stand out and you think, you know, sometimes you think this is difficult sometimes, right? Arguing, putting yourself out on the line. But the point is, we've all met such incredible people through this movement, right? Through standing up, people that we might never have met before. And one of the things when these authoritarians, these weak authoritarians impose things on us, is that they're creating a reaction and a response. And they're bringing different people together by doing that. And so what we now see is a situation where so many people have been engaged together, arguing, working things out and challenging. And I'm very pleased that that's happened, even though I very much dislike the technocratic impositions. And the next speaker, we've only got a couple more left now. I'm really pleased to bring him on because he's someone who's a veteran in a different way. He's a veteran campaigner who I've been out on the front line with before around things like ULEZ and some of the other guys like Nick and Phil who are here on ULEZ and low traffic neighbourhoods, and has consistently been campaigning and had a big impact on things. And he's one of the few people that can talk to many people of all different political backgrounds, and they'll talk to him. And so I want you all to give a big warm welcome to the person who initiated Fair Fuel, who's a campaigner for people who drive in Britain, which is 38 million of us. Even though they're trying to do a war on cars, it is, of course, Howard Cox.
Hello everyone, it's an incredible pleasure to be here, and thank you Alan for asking me to come here. I think the first thing I have to ask all of you is, how many of you drive? Oh, it's quite a few of you. Bear in mind we're in the centre of London, which has got the best public transport system in the country, or so they tell us. But the thing is, I've been campaigning for 16 years, and I'm going to be a big head and say I've stopped the increase in fuel duty for 16 years. Had we not had we allowed the fuel price escalator in the days of Gordon Brown, when he passed it over to George Osborne and David Cameron, you'd be paying another 50 to a pound per litre, and we will be in deep recession. But the reason why I'm here today is because I'm privy to a lot of information, which and Alan kindly said, I do speak to a lot of parties. I mean, even the Green Party have to have their veggie burgers delivered on a diesel truck. So those sorts of things, it's important to understand. Driving is fundamental to the economy. It's the commercial heartbeat, but also the social heartbeat of our economy. And the thing that really matters to me is that we're moving over to, so we're told, is pay per mile. And pay per mile is something I absolutely fervently disagree with, because it can never be fair. And what we're understanding is, and I've seen some information which has not been released to the press on anything, by certain people in the Ministry of Transport and in the Treasury, whereby there will be a chip in the cab, a chip in the car, a chip in the truck, a spy in our car of everything we do, where we go, what we do. And it's a bit like the directors. I'm one of those directors, Lee, by the way. I've also not signed it and I won't sign that either. But the important thing to understand is that we are being controlled. But half a mile down the road, there's a man there who should not be still there. He should be actually in courts for treason. And I'm dealing with these people. For 16 years, I've worked with politicians, and I'm not joking. Most of them couldn't run a piss up in a brewery, which is dead easy. But one of the things that's very, very important for all of us to understand is that we must fight and fight and fight. We have to scrap this digital ID. I'm right behind Together, and so is my 1.8 million supporters of Fairfield UK. And what we need to do is all of you say no to when someone asks you anything about your personal details. Tell them to F off, and that's what I do. So I'll end this now, because you must be very tired now about listening to so many speakers, but all I can say to you is I'm 100% behind you, keeping your secrecy and your security. Cheers.
Howard Cox, everyone. Right, before we get the last speaker on and play the last couple of videos, just to say, we've got some flyers that you can pick up over here if you want to distribute them. Before you leave, please take them and distribute them with friends, colleagues, neighbours all around. Also, please remember, if you're not a member, to join us at togetherdeclaration.org. That's for all you lovely people at home as well. And support us, because we are not backed by big backers. And you know when you talk to some of those think tanks and others, and they're like, but are you going to have the public there? And we're like, yeah, that's who we are. And I just want to say this, there's a reason we're called together, right? Because we don't all agree with one another, even on our steering group and our exec board. But we don't all look the same, and we're not the same ages, we come from all over the place, but we stand together on these principles and values. I'm not enjoying some of the things I'm seeing at the moment, right, on social media, by a lot of friends. Doesn't mean I want it shut down. We need to have the debate. It's painful and difficult sometimes. We've got to be robust, but also that means we've got to be able to criticise one another, and everyone can't be a snowflake either. So if you're saying something that's mad, we are going to tell you. How about that? Anyway, we're together, and just putting an event on with people with all different views is sometimes difficult, right? Because it's noisy out there, guys. But you know what? It's also, following on from Claire, a bit about the love. I come from the acid house generation. That's what we first started doing. I know some people are conservative with a small c, and I love that, and it's great. I think our history and our standards and quality are important, but I'm about the love for everyone. And I think that we have to remind ourselves in these difficult times where people want everyone just really getting bent out of shape, that we are fellow citizens and we've got a lot in common with one another, and that we have to win this together, but we have to do it with a bit of grace and a bit of love. Yeah? Anyway, the next speaker that we've got is someone who's very important at Together. He's been seminal in all our campaigns. You often don't see him as much. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes for our comms and everything. He's really important. He's a director. He's always got a really good take on some of these difficult issues. I'd like you all to welcome Rob Tyson from the Together Association. Rob Tyson.
Hi everyone, good to see you all. So, they said you're going to save the best for last. I said no, the shortest maybe. So I'm going to keep it short. I just want to thank all of you for being here and talk briefly about what Together's answer is, I guess, to some of these things. Now, when they announced this digital ID scheme, we kind of saw it coming. I don't know if you remember, we did a projection before they'd even announced it saying no to digital ID on the Houses of Parliament because we knew they were kind of rolling up to it with some of the things they were saying in the media. And I was very concerned at that time because I thought, you know, after the vaccine passport thing, it was a select group, let's say, that really kicked back, and that was lots of people here today were very involved in that, of course. But I've been heartened to see the kickback against this particular scheme. So to get 3 million people to sign a petition is a really good sign, I think. So we do have to scrap digital ID, and that's what we're going to be focusing on, and I think that's a realistic campaigning goal for us all together. But of course, it's not our only issue, is it? So anyone concerned about the creep of one login? Anyone concerned about facial recognition? Anyone concerned about, like Jem was talking about, the children's bill and the kids being given a unique identifier? Have you heard about, well, this is my PlayStation or my Apple phone, but now you've got to prove who you are to use your own device? Okay, so what that underlines to me is that we're kind of constantly playing whack-a-mole, and we're sick of playing whack-a-mole. So our idea, and we've worked on this with Together members, is a digital Bill of Rights. So what that means is that we say, okay, these are key principles, key freedoms, and we're going to ring fence them. Now, what I'd like you all to do, because I know you're the hardcore, you're still here at 5 o'clock in this beating sun, which is brilliant, so I know you guys are the hardcore. At either end of the stage, we got placards, we got tons of leaflets, so they're down there, and what I'd like you to do, please, on your way out, is to pick up a handful of leaflets, take them back with you, spread the word on all these things. We really want you to do that. And you'll see one of the leaflets is about the Digital Bill of Rights. And you can read more about that, but just 5 core principles, key principles in there. Number 1, freedom from digital compulsion, and we should not be penalised for refusing digital systems, nor compelled to undergo digital verification in order to participate fully in society. Number 2, freedom of expression. Number 3, privacy, right to anonymity, encryption, device sovereignty. We want to argue for freedom from mass surveillance, so banning facial recognition in public spaces. And also we want due process and the right to challenge automated decisions that may be made about us. So there's lots more to say on all these issues, but we're working very hard on it. We really appreciate you being here, and I know there's loads of volunteers here who've been out leafleting and doing all that really important work. So please stick with us. Thanks again for coming. Grab leaflets on your way out. Let's spread the word. Let's do it together, and let's scrap digital ID.
Right, we got a couple of short videos and we're going to wrap. When we started all of this, it was no to vaccine passports. It was the Together Declaration. We took hundreds of thousands of signatures to 10 Downing Street, and we fought back and we won. And we're going to continue to do this. And I know some people think it's inevitable. UN 2030 goals, WEF, World Bank, IMF, all the globalist institutions. But in this sovereign nation, the buck stops with us. If we end up saying it's all inevitable, it will be. We all know about the discussion about CBDC, central bank digital currency, surveillance controls, facial recognition, but nothing gets done if we decide not to. The power lies with us. We've got to go out and convince our fellow friends and citizens. As Rob said, 3 million people already said no to digital ID. Now we've got to keep pushing that back in the streets, up and down the country. May 7th in the election, make your voice heard based on who's saying the best thing on their position on scrapping digital ID, the right to have juries and appeals, no to net zero, and make sure they all hear from you. Keep getting involved in our campaigns, please. This is about hearts and minds for everyone up and down the country. We can win this. The next video is from a friend of ours, from a very important campaigning organisation, the Free Speech Union. I was a founding member of that. It's done great work. And like with the non-crime hate incidents and all these issues, they're out there, they're supporting. This is Lord Toby Young.
When the online safety bill was going through Parliament, the bill's advocates assured free speech campaigners like me that the bill would include some protections for free speech. In particular, social media companies would be under an obligation not to remove content of democratic importance or journalistic content. Well, 3 years after the Online Safety Act received royal assent, those duties still haven't been activated. All the take-down duties have been activated, but none of the keep-up duties. Back in January, I pulled together a letter from over 50 peers, including 2 former national newspaper editors, the owner of the Evening Standard, the chair of IPSO, various former cabinet ministers, including a former deputy prime minister, a letter to Liz Kendall, the digital secretary, asking her when these keep-up duties, when these promised free speech protections would be activated. Well, almost 3 months later, we still haven't had a reply.
And just before we leave you, I mean, Toby Young, the Free Speech Union, everyone who's been backing that and us has shown that we can win some things. I want to hope to inspire everyone to go out and get our fellow colleagues and friends and people that we don't agree with and get them involved in this next round of this fight. We can win this. It's really important that everyone hears our voices together. Please join together, togetherdeclaration.org, become a supporter. We've got leaflets, we've put out hundreds of thousands around the country. We're lobbying MPs, we're lobbying Companies House, the Department of Science and Tech. We've done it with the NHS, we've done it with loads of institutions. We're going to keep being annoying and making our voices heard and making sure that our inalienable rights, there you go, I got it that time, are kept fundamental. Thank you very much for being here. You've been amazing, guys. Brilliant job. Thank you to everyone in Cardiff, in Belfast, and in Edinburgh. This is London. You're going to hear much more from us. Keir Starmer, UK Labour, the Conservatives, Reform, Restore, Advance, everyone. You're all going to be hearing from us. We insist on the right not to have to digitally verify to participate in society. Let's stand together, everyone, with love, with grace. We're better and stronger together. And here's to the last video. Thank you, guys.